You ought to take that as a compliment too.
What is going on, folks?
How you doing, ladies and gentlemen? It's D and CJ on Working Time Sports Show. I'm sorry, D and Bill Pickett, obviously.
You know what,
It's
man?
September, Chris. The Black Rodeo is not doing DC until September. I mean November. So what you?
I have to point out something here. I can say this. I wasn't gonna get obnoxious and stuff, but I had to get obnoxious. I think me and you are rarely obnoxious Cowboy fans. I think we're pretty
I'm
even keel.
loud. I can
Yeah,
say
we're
I'm
not.
loud. I'm
We're
only
not
loud.
obnoxious.
I'm only loud um when it's undeniable. When it's like no way in the world you can like we can be it's just a good run, just straight up good play.
Yeah.
And that's what I always share. I get loud over crap like that. Victories. There's only two types of victories I celebrate, and yes, I did. Y'all see this nigga.
Yeah.
I
Exactly. It had to happen. It had to happen.
I celebrate my victories. I have to is when we barely win. I mean, skin of our teeth like that BS that we just went through, and of course, just straight up dominating. Penis in your ear fashion. That type of stuff. That's
And, you know,
that's when that's when D and I like how you and I, Chris, cleverly, without being the jackholes that we could be, and just start screaming it to the top of our lungs how about the Cowboys. You and I have decided differently. Just the picture, coked up, eyes wide,
sweat.
nose sweating profusely, nose even more wider. Michael Irvin. That's all you need. That type of energy. That's all I had. Now, yeah, I celebrated after this win because it was.
I agree with you. This is Atlanta being Atlanta. Here's the fucked up part.
What's worse? What's worse? What's worse? Giving up the lead that we gave up, or two, losing in the fashion that they did. Because here's the thing, Chris. It's not about Atlanta leading. It's that the fact that Atlanta shoots the zombie in the neck and not the head. You know what I mean?
You know
It's
what?
like they don't get it. They don't understand what double tapping
There,
is.
there's 28-3 against the Patriots, right? It's like, all right. I'm not gonna say I'm gonna let that go because you could have kept your foot on
You
their neck.
shouldn't let that go. No, 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 no. No, everything. You shouldn't let it go. You
You
know
shouldn't
it,
let that
Chris.
go, but like it's the Patriots, so it's like you kind of expect it out of them, because any team you play, if you play against the Patriots, you got to keep your foot on their necks. And it was a Super Bowl. Maybe you could say jitters, but even I was just like, no, that's bullshit. You should have kept your foot on their necks. But whatever,
And
right?
then, but this game, Chris, there was nothing to. Let's just be real. There's nothing to earn in the
When they were
second.
up 39-24, I was like, there's no point in me watching it. And I had it on as the background. I'm playing Marvel Avengers, not giving a fuck, right?
Oh man, I just got back from fishing with my dad and my kids,
I saw your post. You
and
were
my
happy. Like you had no care in the world for the game. You were like, I'm
I
figuring
had
this
no
out
care in the world. I was even laughing with my dad like, wow.
every
So I
every
don't even know how because this is how bad it was, Chris. Because it went from like 7 and then jumped from like 20 to 0 and then it jumped again. So I was being real as a person that's not near no TV and I could have easily pulled it up my phone. No, I'm not going to do that. Come on, man. Fresh air. Come on now. You don't know how much time we have until Trump just starts nuking everything in this
well, the
start
poor
nuking the world to death. So I'm just trying to enjoy the world.
every Cowboy fan that I know of, me, you, shout out to John, shout out to Chadwick, all of us
Shout out
Cowboy
to Chad.
fans,
We gave up.
we were just like, yo, Chad was on. I think Chadwick was on the road because he just came back. He was coming from the beach with his girlfriend,
Mm-hmm.
his wife. My bad, not his
His
girlfriend, his
wife,
wife.
his wife, yeah, his wife,
And
man.
all of us were just like, man, Dallas gonna go 0-3 this season. Fuck this shit, right? That was
We
the attitude. We
and
were
that
like,
was our attitude. My dad thought we were mad. My dad always think we scream Super Bowl. I understand that because you be around us enough times. You just assume that a room full of Cowboy fans, we're all thinking the same thing. No, we're not. It's a room full of Cowboy fans. I can guarantee you, out of 60 people in there, they're thinking 60 different things, and none of them helps the team out. So
now to Dallas's credit, the defense when they worked, it was fine. To give the offense this, and every pundit was saying it, even Shannon Sharp, that offense gutted that shit out. They chipped away at that fucking lead. And if you watch the game, and I watched the game backwards and forwards, me and my dad were sitting back like, they're chipping away at this lead. And I don't think Atlanta saw that shit coming. Because it was like CeeDee Lamb had a fucking quiet 100+ yard game.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
I knew it was a problem. I knew it was a problem when Dallas scored the second time. I'm thinking like, well, it's still possible you're down by 2. Atlanta scores. Okay, we're down by 3.
Yeah, that's a
We're
wrap.
down by 3 touchdowns. That's a wrap, dog. We can try it out, gut it out. There's Chris, they didn't have to have that energy in the fourth quarter.
They really did.
Let's be real. Any other time you could have just said, forget it. Let's take it to week 3. I'm sorry, guys. This is a terrible way to start off the season.
We don't want any injuries. Let's just chill and call it.
You could have done that.
Put in what's his face? What's the backup?
Andy Dalton.
Andy Dalton, just put him in there. Let him get his reps in.
Dalton did do one.
Yeah, I thought, I went to the bathroom. I thought Dak got injured. I was like, no, don't do this to me. And I was like, okay.
I was ready. I was ready in the sense of, Dad, we're about to see the dark moment in Dallas history where we finally got our black quarterback and the ginger shows up to take his job.
Oh, I was freaking out.
I wasn't freaking out. You know what? D wasn't freaking out. Give me that ring, nigga. Look. No, we are behind the Patriots. We are behind the Patriots, and we are behind the Steelers. I'm not counting that. Oh, man, what about the 49ers, D? Y'all had 2 chances to get a Super Bowl and haven't earned it yet. So I'm not worried about y'all. Right now, the Steelers and the Patriots got more Super Bowls than me. And one of those organizations is about to fold like a cheap Korean chair. So I'm just saying.
Looking at San Fran, like you had 2 biracial angels try to get you a Super Bowl. Well, no. You had 1 biracial angel get you a Super Bowl ring. And
I was about to say, where's Jimmy Garoppolo? Like Portuguese and Italian? I was about to say.
My bad. I'm sorry. I was thinking he was light skinned. My bad. I'm fucked up on that one. Right?
But say, you had a biracial angel, and you had a dude with a last name that screams, "I can't play football."
Actually, no. The Tom Brady heir apparent.
I'm sorry. The last name Garoppolo just tells me you don't throw a football. You know what I mean? Like
Garoppolo was Blue Lives Matter damn near. I was like,
Garoppolo sounds like a cop. That sounds like a cop.
But we know it's Bosa now, though, don't we?
Bosa. Anyway, first off, shout out to our boy Shag. Shag was supposed to be on the show. It's supposed to be pretty big because we're supposed to be talking about football, of course, because he's gonna talk about his Buccaneers. Of course, we wanted to talk hockey. I don't know what the hell's going on in hockey, and maybe chat a little bit about baseball. Who knows? But of course, we was going to talk about, and let's just get this out the way, Chris. We was going to talk about UFC, and we was going to talk about
Woodley and Colby, which we'll probably that's the only UFC we'll talk about. I will talk about that one just from the aspect of
just for 2 dudes that don't watch it that much, and just
we know enough. We know enough about some of the major ones. Woodley being one of them, Covington being the other one that we know pretty much.
Covington is a good fighter. Covington to me is a good fighter, but not one of the best. He's one of the better ones. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because the way Usman fucking washed him was just showed me how good he was.
But we gotta go back to this. So as D pointed out, Dallas, they started chipping away, right? And bear in mind too, Dallas has 2 offensive linemen that are rookies that held their own to their credit. And penalties aside, they actually did pretty good. I gotta give them credit.
The penalties that's a good thing. The penalties didn't really kill us. Dak didn't do nothing. The rest of the team didn't do nothing. So remember, there was a fumble from Zeke. There was a fumble from Dak. And the offense just couldn't get no type of rhythm whatsoever. Well, and what made it really good was that not only when the offense started going, the defense did dig their heel in just a little bit and stopped everybody. But it falls on me again, Chris. When Atlanta scored that last time, that should have been it. Now
should have been done. 5 minutes left, guys. 5 minutes left.
Now, granted, yes. The running game is not where they wanted to be, and on top of that, Julio didn't have a good game at all. Julio just not sure to have a good game at all. and I think he's
What was
hurt.
that throw? How did he not catch that throw? That was a gimme.
He's hurt. He's hurt. I think he's still kind of hurt.
Hamstring or knee?
I think it's a hamstring, maybe. I forgot what it was, but he is still ailing him. It's still clearly holding him back, and he just wasn't ready. But still, that's no excuse to me. You still was up on the team by like 20 something with no points on the board. You had enough time to make sure they didn't come back. It's one of those examples, man.
See, when it was 39-37, right? And they're going for the onside kick. Again, all of us were just eye rolling like, this shit ain't gonna do nothing. And then all of a sudden, like, I didn't pay. And here's the thing, here's the fucked up part, D. I turned away from the screen for a minute because, again, you're not thinking that they're going to get the onside kick right. So I'm just playing the game, and all of a sudden, he announces, "Oh my God, Dallas recovering!" I was like, "The fuck? What?" And I'm thinking, okay, I thought one of the Atlanta people bumped into it or something, right? I'm watching it, I'm like, these motherfuckers, 5 Atlanta players watched this shit, stared at it like it was a bomb.
Okay, here's the thing. For me, it was different because for me, Red Zone just went over to the Dallas game. So we were turning back to Dallas and wait a minute, did they get the ball? I was like, they got that ball because they showed right like the very tail end of that thing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Dallas got it. I'm like, Dallas got it. They got that thing. I'm like, I can't believe it.
But I said the game ain't over yet because
you can't, because the new rule is you can't launch off as soon as you kick when you do an onside kick. Yeah. So you really did Dallas had to wait. This is what made it so pitiful because they can't move until they be a pass of 10 yards.
Yeah.
So that's why nobody gets them. So Dallas did. So when it happened, I was like, yo, they staring. Why they staring at it? I was like, yo. It got to the 10-yard line and they were just still looking at it. At that, I'm like, there was nobody hovering around the ball. There was nobody trying to like already in leaping mode. Nobody. There was no urgency. Do you blame that on the players? Do you blame it on the special teams? Coach, do you? No, I think that was a brain fart of the worst kind.
Somebody said it best.
That's one of those things. I think it was just a brain fart.
Somebody said it best. I forgot who it was. It might have been either Nick Wright or somebody. They were saying that the players probably thought it was going to do one of those weird bounces into the out of bounds, which I'm like, okay, I kind of get that, but it's like, it's just when you look at it from
Zerline kicked it pretty good. Well, first off, excellent kick. That's a hard kick to hit anyway. Zerline kicked it perfectly. Second of all, I didn't know we got Zerline. I thought it's pretty good.
Yeah,
Zerline's one of the better kickers. I'm not going to be mad at. But when he laid it flat, I was like, oh, so you're going to do that thing when you spin that bitch. Now, I seen that jump work in college football, but again, it's college football.
Weird things happen in college football. So it's like,
kids, you know what I'm saying? You're dealing with kids, especially with special teams. You're dealing with sophomores and juniors who kind of still don't get everything ordered. That's all they're going to be good at special teams, and they fuck up. So, okay, that's that, but not in the NFL.
It's rare. It's rare.
And then they get the first down. They just run it out the next 2 things, and I'm like, yo, I'm yawning a lot for no fucking reason. I think, actually, no, I'm tired. Anyway,
I was kind of scared at that point though, because CeeDee Lamb, I was scared a little bit when they were running the clock out because I was like, that 46-yarder ain't guaranteed because I was expecting
it ain't guaranteed.
It's nothing guaranteed.
True, it's not guaranteed, but that's Zerline. I like Zerline can get that because Zerline and Skip Bayless said it best. Zerline is one of those kickers where they will kick it this way and it will cut inward. He's one of those.
Those are the scariest field goals.
They're the best to be real talk. Skill for skill, I think they're the best one because they fucking get geometry and how fucking wind blows. Those motherfuckers get it.
It was a heavy wind. I'm pretty sure he probably would have kicked it differently, but so okay, that's fair.
Even in the dome. See, that's the funny thing. Even those type of kickers don't. Even in the dome, it could the winds in the dome could swirl a different way or whatever crap like that. There's always science involved in them. And Zerline is one of those kickers that will kick it and will dart the other way when he kicks because it's just the way he kicks it. Yeah. He knows how he does it. So I knew he can get it, but I ain't gonna fake Chris. I'm like, hey, yo, Z, that's 46. I have seen you miss a 44 before. So
switched, and as soon as I saw it was going to go through, I was like, "Thank you." I lost my fucking
The
mind.
second he kicked it and went up, I was like, "That's good. That's good." Because sometimes you can just look at a kick and just, "That's good. That's good." I don't even have to look at it. It
Look,
won't go do no weird shit where it just
yeah,
baked.
we can talk about the Dallas Cowboy fan base going nuts. I got to talk about real quick the Atlanta fan base. It was so split in half because half of them were like, "I knew they were going to botch the lead. I just didn't know how." Right? It's like, all
Oh yeah,
right.
it's
There was the
inevitable.
other
They're
half.
gonna fuck up.
But there
We
was
just
the
know
other
they will.
half that was just sit back like, "Are you fucking kidding me? This is how you fucked this up?
I
Are you
think,
kidding me?"
you know what? So here's the thing. I think if you're or the second group of Atlanta fans, I think they're the ones that are ready to fire the coach, and they should be,
Oh yeah, they
because
were.
this
They
is
were.
time. It's time. It's time for them, for Atlanta to really be looking at that, because the door for them to get to the Super Bowl has already closed, in my opinion. So it's like, son, it's time to either switch this team up, do something. But the coach probably is going to be the
Now,
first one to go.
to be fair, if you got Matt Ryan on fantasy like I did, well, you did pretty good because he was good. But I played Russell Wilson and I won my fantasy league off his back, which is a good transition to this because that Patriots Seattle Seahawks game was pretty good.
Pretty dope.
It
Pretty
was
dope.
good. It was solid.
And Cam looked a lot better. Cam's looking better as he goes. I
He can throw
still
the ball. I think a lot of people underestimated how good he could throw the ball when he has time in the pocket.
see that's the thing. He's still dealing with a different type of offense, even though clearly you can tell Belichick said, "Yeah, you got it." You know what I mean? Like, you got to run the offense the way you want to. Make sure you do this and all that. I'll call you plays and shit. You
Yeah.
can tell that there's some type of structure there. But even then, I'm still waiting for the whole offense to click. I still don't think the offense has clicked the way the Patriots themselves wanted to click. And it's not a bad thing. It's just they got to figure it out. Cam was getting better. I already told you. I already told you that Danny Russell.
I mean, look,
I already told you Daddy Russell is the MVP for me
Russell
this year
Wilson,
already.
that motherfucker. Look, and this is
Said
what's gonna make the Cowboys Seattle game good on both ends, on Dallas and Seattle's end, because Russell Wilson, like when he threw that bomb to old boy for that touchdown, I was like, what the fuck?
yeah,
That was just like, holy shit. Like and it's not to say he just threw it up there. He just knew dude was gonna catch it in some way, shape, or form. And even if he didn't catch it, it's still a good throw.
that's what I think. I think that team knows they know each other. They know what's going on. To the fact that, see, I felt that Russell couldn't do that 2-3 years ago, just bombing like that just for somebody to reach their arm out and catch that shit. You know what I mean? Like,
I mean,
he didn't have Metcalf at the time, anybody else to really do it like that. So I'm glad he finally got that.
it's one of those losses that it's one of those losses that like when you look at the final play, right? I see what New England was doing and it made sense because Cam's leg was giving them like yards and plays. I understand that, right? And I
Mhm.
think it's easy for us as like kind of couch quarterback and looking at it like, well, he should have ran the opposite way, but I think the way the play was drawn up, it made sense why they did that. But I think they probably should have adjusted a little bit on that. That was
I,
just
I
me.
I feel that was inevitable. It was going to end like that no matter what they did.
On
I
the
think
1 yard line, what is up with both of these
because
people doing that? That's crazy.
just the way they set themselves up and all the rest, just the way they set themselves up on the 1 yard line, I thought how the way the defense shifted. I'm like, they played a game. You can't get mad at that. You
Yeah,
just can't get mad at how defense plays like that.
I
It
mean,
went down to the wire, man. That's exactly the way it should have been.
it was really good. So Tampa Bay, they got their comeback game and stuff. They got they played against Carolina, and they needed that win in the NFC South. After you got mollywopped by the Saints, you need a victory, and you got to get it over the Carolina Panthers.
See,
And
here's the thing.
yeah,
You gotta restore your manhood some type of way, because we all said, look, I'm not Tom Brady. I'm not the one that to the I'm going to Tampa Bay now. It's going to be different. It is different. It is different, nigga. It ain't the same.
look,
You over here, you over here struggling with Carolina, nigga. Get out my face.
let me tell you something. I feel bad for Carolina. Christian McCaffrey is out.
And I don't feel bad for Carolina. I
I
don't.
mean,
I don't feel bad for
I feel
Carolina.
bad for Bridgewater, man. Like this was supposed to be something
Teddy,
that
I
was
do.
gonna work
Okay,
out for him, and it's like, you don't have McCaffrey, so now you gotta make the shit work now without him.
okay, Teddy, I do feel bad for, but um,
The
it's kind of
organization?
no, 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 no. I hate the. I don't care for the organization. This is exactly what they get. Teddy Bridgewater, though. Of course, he doesn't deserve all this, but that's look. That's the one thing I always questioned about Teddy Bridgewater, and everybody was like, we were so saying, oh, how good of a job he did with the Saints and all the rest of that. I think the one thing that y'all forgot to realize is that the Saints were a good team even without him. So that wasn't his team. That's Drew Brees' team. The way they built for him. And we just assumed, well, Teddy got an arm for him and all the rest of it. Sure, but he ain't got the team for him. Because I guarantee you, if here's a funny thing. If you put Bridgewater on the Jets, I believe they win two more games, but that would be no better than what they are now.
I mean,
Teddy Bridgewater is not that quarterback, and I don't know why. I don't know
behind
why
that
we
Jets
had this
offensive
idea
line,
that
you
he
give him
thought
that.
that he was one.
Behind the Jets offensive line, you give him that. Like,
You see what I'm saying? This is what I'm
yeah.
saying. You had the Saints, bro. Of course, you were going to look halfway decent. Oh man, Teddy Bridgewater is more than just a good backup. He's a starting quarterback. Are you sure? And I didn't question him being a starter. What I questioned was, why do y'all think this dude is a top 15 quarterback?
Mm-hmm.
That's the question I didn't pose, and I wish I did, because I know a couple of people that would have answered that properly for me.
Yeah.
But like, it's like, no, man, no, man. Teddy Bridgewater's having a tough time. The Carolina, who really, really thought, oh, we don't need Cam now. Okay, yeah, guess what? I think you do. I think you do.
Yeah, but they're in the reorganizing, so we'll see how that works. The team from Washington thought they could pull the same bullshit that they pulled against Eagles against the fucking Arizona Cardinals, and Kyler Murray looked at him like, "Go fuck yourself. That's not happening." I mean, like,
That was grab the girl by her weave, yank her, and you see the little underhook, the under uppercuts, man.
dude,
Hey, goddamn.
Fitzgerald and Hopkins ran wild on that fucking team. Holy shit! Like, Dwayne Haskins couldn't do anything worth a shit, unfortunately, and it sucks because I still think he's lesser Jason Campbell to me.
But here's the thing about that. Here's the thing about it. Not even, it wasn't Dwayne's fault.
Oh,
That
what?
team is not ready for as many people as if you're the Redskins, yeah, not Redskins. If you're Washington, yes, you should be happy that you beat the Eagles because they're just for who they are as your rival, in your division. That crap. You need to be happy for that one.
That was a good victory. To be fair, that was a good victory. I'm not even gonna
Exactly.
It was a good victory, straight up.
You need to get your ass whooped this bad.
Reality check.
Yeah, pure reality check. They're not that good. We already knew that. Come on, Chris. They weren't that good. You already know they're not.
Now, granted, much like last year with me and you, we're still giving a lot of these teams the 6 games before we make a deciding factor of whether they're actually going to be worth a damn. So, with the Arizona Cardinals, I'm not going to say anything yet because they're in a tough division.
They're in a tough division.
Now, they're lucking out right now because San Fran got a shit ton of fucking injuries. So, Arizona might have a shot if they keep healthy.
That I was about to say, if they keep healthy. Yes, yes.
If they need to. If everybody can stay healthy for
everybody
the season, they might get a wild card spot. Because I still think Seattle's going to end up taking the NFC NFC West. I think they're going to take it. It's just what it is and stuff. Because I don't see San Fran doing anything. Who else is in the NFC West?
The Rams, and let's talk.
The Rams might.
Let's talk about this real quick. The Eagles versus the Rams. The Eagles, they are really proving to me one thing is for sure: Carson Wentz is not good.
You still think it's the injury lingering?
Maybe? I don't know. 242, 2 interceptions. 242.
Looking like Eli out there, like in terms of just throwing interceptions for no reason. I'm like, what are you doing, dude?
Like Carson looks terrible so far, man. Like right now, he looks terrible, man.
And I mean, maybe it could be no preseason. You might be right on that a little bit. Maybe a lot of because a lot of people are factoring in, and shout out to Urinary Tree for this. It's the injury bowl now because a lot of teams no preseason, so there's no warming up the body or anything. It's just boom straight into the season.
And
So
that's and that's not good because I'm looking at this. Um, I don't count quarterback ranking rating, but right now he's only doing 64.4, 4 interceptions, only 2 touchdowns, 512 yards. Dog, for somebody that is supposed to always be a threat in the NFC East, he's not. He's not. He's very tame, and it is amazing that he's pretty much turned himself into Eli. Now, could you upswing that thing?
could
Because
be.
remember, Eli will throw 50 interceptions, but he'll throw 41 touchdowns.
It's a Tony
So
Romo. It's a Tony Romo effect a little bit because Romo for a minute he was he
Romo,
was he was
no,
throwing interceptions, but he'll guarantee some touchdowns to offset that shit too. So it's like
what it really comes down to between Romo and Eli is that Eli won bigger games. Let's be
yeah,
real.
yeah.
This is what really falls out. Eli could win big games. Tony could, but not the right ones.
The two Super
And
Bowls
like,
Eli's kind of puts
like
him over a little bit, just a little bit.
I'm not even going. Look, I'm not even going as far as not even adding the Super Bowl. Let's just keep it a regular season with those two. And even when you take it off, yeah, Eli would have almost the same record as Tony. What happened was Eli got bad, and I mean real bad. The last 5 years of his career, Eli got bad. This wasn't even like for Eli to be what I always thought was middle of the road quarterback. It was terrible for him. Like only you putting up, you making Kerry Collins, you making the old Kerry Collins stats look fantastic. There is something wrong, bruh. And I can't, I don't understand it. Like Eli, of course, he had a more fulfilled career, of course, man. Well, I don't know about that. Tony Romo's on CBS now, but,
Look,
uh,
look,
but
look.
but
I mean,
the real talk, I don't like bringing that up. But right now, Carson Wentz is looking like the worst quarterback in the NFC East right now. I don't think that's true, but it looks like it. Yeah.
but let's say something here. Speaking of the Giants, Bears and Giants was the most roughest game I saw highlights for, and I didn't even watch the full game.
It's
Let's start
rough.
off with this. We have another team that had an injury, and it's Saquon Barkley again with a possible ACL injury. I don't know if he's out for the season, but they're going to check. But they're fearing it could be an ACL injury, and he could be out for the season. And I'm like, again.
And I said it when it happened. They did it. They broke him. They keep like you can't do that to your players.
Undersize himself is possibly out again, and he's broken.
Spotted on Clutch's devastating injury. How long will he return? Like really, it is just ridiculous, man. You lost the only real threat of your offense. That's it.
Saquon will look. That guy will give you 100 yards and will power through. Like we talk about Zeke punching through people, Saquon will punch you in the mouth and keep going.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
And
I saw that shit and I was like, But it didn't help that the Bears, despite how good their defense are, they still let the Giants in the game. And I'm like,
well, I will tell you this. I will tell you this. What I just quickly read on ESPN. Let's just put it out this way. He ain't coming back this season. He done.
oh, Saquon's out? He's done?
He's going to have to go on surgery. They're not giving no recovery time out. When I see that, usually,
Well, 2021 season, he is back. Now,
I mean, that's
I
tough.
don't know if did he get re-signed this offseason? Did he get
No, I think he's still in his rookie contract.
So do you think this hampers him in any sort of
Oh, hell yeah.
like
I
how
I
big?
hate saying
It
that.
sucks. It sucks a little. It does suck a lot. But like, how much does this hamper him? Because I don't think he's going to get a Zeke contract where it's going to be huge.
Well, okay. Number one, he ain't put up Zeke numbers. Number two,
I thought his rookie year he ended up like number 1 that season. I remember. I thought he did.
hey Chris. Derek Carr put up a whole lot of good numbers his rookie season. Shut the fuck up.
My bad. Look, I'm trying to keep that same energy because
No. See, I tried.
Hey, look, rookie season, Dak and Zeke were like running the gamut on.
But here's the difference between both of them. Zeke proved himself to be an elite running back. Hopefully, he can run really well into his 30s.
Keep it healthy. I will give him credit. He is keeping
Speaking
it
of which, Speaking of which, I'm still throwing back. Me and Frank Gore are the same age, but yet his son is in college right now. Damn. Uh, Frank Gore is my
Of course,
age.
still playing.
Frank Gore is my age. Frank Gore is 36 years old.
He's still
His
playing.
son, his son is playing football right now in college, and his son, I hope it works out for Frank Gore Jr.
Dude,
Yes,
how
Frank
wild?
Gore Jr.
How wild would it be if Frank Gore is still playing in the NFL and his son joins the NFL? I would laugh my ass off. Like, holy shit, when does that
Oh,
ever happen? Like,
Frank Gore. Look, of all the people, Frank Gore could do it too. Yeah. Of
Frank Gore's still
all,
playing. I will give him credit. Like, he might not be putting up the numbers that he used to, but he is actually unreliable.
well,
I'm
I
not
will
even
say
joking.
this.
He is
I will say
unreliable.
this. I forgot that's who he played for. I actually seen one game of him so far. Like I said, it was all right. He's with Southern Mississippi, and I'm gonna be real, Southern Mississippi. So if you don't see him in the NFL, he went to Southern
He
Mississippi. I'm
might get
sorry.
on practice squad, D. He might get
You,
practice squad.
I hope he does. I hope that for everybody that goes to these small colleges and who are standouts. But he wasn't a standout. He was a 3-star. He wasn't a blue chip. So
Huh.
that's number one.
He
I
could
hate
work
to
his
say
way up, though. We'll see.
exactly. I hate saying it like that. There are some people who do come in as walk on to. I mean, 3 stars to 2 stars to fucking walk ons that become superstars. That happens all the time. But when we're just talking, just seeing how it is, looking at what your college is and what you was coming out of high school, 3 stars, Southern Mississippi.
We'll
Hope you
see how
got a
this
good.
works out.
Hope you got a good degree, nigga.
I mean, but going back to the job, but
Hey
going back.
Chris, hey Chris. Hope that communications degree is going to take you a long way.
First off, I hate you said communications degree because there you look, college graduate, both of us like we both went to colleges. I think we could say I'm pretty sure you met some people at PG that were communication majors. I met plenty of communication majors at PG, right?
Yeah, quite a few actually. Quite a few, especially in our class, the class of 2002. There's quite a few of them.
I graduated from engineering school, but I knew people that I work with, even at my present job, that had communications degrees, and they somehow pivoted because they ended up getting like certificates in order to get the job that they had. Because like the communication degree, it's like I got a bachelor's.
Communications degree and psych degrees don't mean shit to me. They don't.
Psych degrees could work if
I hate,
you get a good job for it. That's the key
and I hate to
aspect of
say
it.
it like this. I hate to say it like this. If it ain't security, whatever you get in computers, have fun wasting your time. If it ain't security, have fun wasting your time. Because all those jobs are going right to the Indians and Chinese. Have fun with it.
But here's the thing. Going back to the Giants Bears game, Nick Foles is looking at Mitch Trubisky in that game with this Birdman hand rub like anytime. Because Mitch was literally giving the Giants chance after chance. And I'm like, Giants, he's giving you the game. This is gifted.
I can't wait till the day. I can't wait till the day I can't wait till the day Trubisky throws out a shitty game. It's halftime. They go into the locker room. So they go into that one part of the locker room that's like dimly lit. It's like you got spray paint all over the walls, and motherfucking Nick is butt ass naked doing pull-ups like this and shit. He just drops down.
Clubber Lang in Rocky 3, just sweating like
look, and he drops down. Come on. It's our nigga Big Dick Nick. You know when he dropped down, you hear additional thud. You know what it was. You already know what it was. He go like, so we run that same shotgun play, coach. You got it, Nick. He just grabs the towel and goes right to work.
He looks at every player like that dude in Captain Phillips. Look at me. I'm the captain now.
All right. He's like, all right. He'll say some real maverick type shit. All right, assholes. If you want to live, you do what I tell you to do. All right.
Yes, sir.
See, I love that crap because everybody thinks, oh man, he's such a cool person. In real life, the fuck is this nigga? Not Nick telling us, Nick, you wouldn't even have to practice, bro. What you make it?
Here's the thing. I gotta look. As much as people said, like, I don't. I'm like, look, I'm not the person that's like inside football and stuff, but it was kind of interesting that the prevailing theory with him when they made that Super Bowl run with the Eagles, like he had a level of control over the locker room. And I thought it was interesting how people were, because at first I was thinking, all right, are they trying to pit him against Carson Wentz? But I'm like, no, I just think he's like the veteran for the Eagles, so he had that command, and it just worked
I,
for
I
that team.
I don't know. For Nick, it was really weird. For Nick Foles, is really weird. His story that was one of those things that was just going to happen.
The
It
perfect
was,
storm, really, if you
it
think
was
about it.
inevitable. It was a perfect storm, and a part of me feels like it was one of those things that was already destined. You was going to win a Super Bowl anyway, but it had to be in a different. It couldn't be the way you thought it was going to be. It
Yeah.
wasn't going to be by the team that drafted you. It's going to be by the team that gave up on you, which was the team that drafted you.
There you go. I mean,
Fucking dude. You know what? It kills me, man. Like I said, the Eagles right now are in trouble though. They need to
hey, I mean, we'll see.
wake up, roll up, stand up, do something, dog.
Speaking of which, yeah, Green Bay mollywhopped Detroit. Like Detroit couldn't do shit. Like,
Sure.
and I don't even know. Like, it's hard for me. Like, the NFC South is in a weird place right now because I can't make heads or tails. Like, Minnesota is playing like shit.
Oh,
Looking
you
at
mean
Kirk
North?
Cousins, like, what the fuck happened to you, dude? Like,
Oh, you
you
mean
lost
North?
your best wide receiver, and you can't do shit. Like, what the
North,
fuck, man?
because right now the North is wild right now. Chicago's trying to figure out what
They're
they're
in the
trying.
same boat as the NFC East, pretty much.
Yeah, they're all in the same boat. Everybody want to know who's going to be the big dog. Clearly, Green Bay stepped up again.
They might eke out.
Stepped up
They might win this. They might win the division just by default, going by how everything goes. The Bears haven't shown me anything other than their defense doing something. But
the way the
man,
Bears are, but the way the Bears are, they're already showing me that they're not going to go far unless Nick or Trubisky wakes the hell up and actually starts playing
yeah, I mean, the Bears are the only one that's going to give
competent football.
the Bears are going to be the only one that's going to probably give the Packers anything. I don't see Minnesota doing anything, to be honest. I really don't.
This game has proved me that the Lions are exactly who I thought they were.
Oh my God, it was bad.
Perpetually mediocre. Permanently mediocre. If you get to if they score, look, their good years are when they go 9-7.
8-8, maybe. They might get 8-8. Like,
Eight days, like that's just about right there. We didn't make the playoffs, but we got 500. All right.
my job is safe for another year.
You get like I don't see this team winning 10 games unless there's a real overhaul. You know what? I always want to know because certain teams get better over time, change, whatever, or you're just going to be in that you have a slot in the NFL. That's where your team represents, whatever, like that. It's always something. I
Um,
don't know what the Lions have. I don't know what the Lions are. Y'all have been the same team for years.
you're
What are
coasting. You've been coasting.
coasting on mediocre and old Barry Sanders DVDs that y'all sell? Like, yo,
With the occasional Megatron shout out, that's about it.
you know what? When you have your two greatest players it give up on you the way they did, that should tell you something about organization. Like Barry Sanders, okay, fine. But when Megatron does that, that should hurt you.
I don't know.
That should
Megatron,
hurt you.
like Barry Sanders hurt me as somebody that loved Emmett Smith, but I knew Barry Sanders was a bit better than Emmett Smith.
Oh, he was now to me. He wasn't even a bit. I love him, but
Yeah.
Barry could fucking cook him any day of the year.
Yeah,
It
like
didn't
Barry
matter,
was
y'all.
just crazy. And me, I think even a person that wasn't a Detroit Lions fan, we were just like, yo, Barry, you deserve better, man. Get on the Super Bowl team so you can at least get a ring before you retire. And he just retired, and we were all sad, like, oh my God, you could have like I'm
But
not
you
even
want to
saying
know
you
what
got
the fun part for me was? The fun part for me, not with Barry, was with Megatron, is that the media put all of this on fucking Matt Stafford. Now, granted, yes, you are the quarterback of the team and all that, but the way it felt to me was like y'all do realize it ain't him, it's Megatron. You take away Calvin Johnson, Matt Stafford, I guarantee you he'll turn into a really good quarterback, and that's all he really will be, a really good quarterback. That's it. He is nothing more. Like that's really what it comes down to. The only reason why you and I defend Tony Romo the way we do is because he's just a really good quarterback. We didn't say he was a Super Bowl quarterback. It's that all y'all act like this motherfucker threw interceptions and fumbled every time somebody mentioned Jessica Simpson. I don't understand
and I don't care who you are, a fan of your team, you would love to have Romo as your quarterback.
You would have loved it.
There are Redskins fans that won't admit it up front, but they'll tell you, shit, yeah, Romo, we be cooking. Yeah, you probably would.
Another thing. People say that same thing about Matt Stafford to me. I think anybody would love to have Matt Stafford to be their quarterback. But same thing with Romo. Y'all don't win shit. Y'all don't win nothing. Ain't nothing important y'all did and added to the history of football.
It's just but
Go ahead. I'm still listening, bro. Go ahead.
But we're getting into it. So the Diamond Dogs, they had a shot.
I had my phone on me the whole time. I'm trying, like, where's my phone at? My phone's right here.
I you know what? If there's ever a time to live vicariously through somebody, shout out to our boy Denzel. I was living vicariously as he was watching the Diamond Dogs face off against Kansas City. And for a moment, the Diamond Dogs put the fear of God in Kansas City because they were putting the screws to the fucking Kansas City offense.
They were, man. I thought
but that second half happened, and I was like, what the fuck? You let these dudes come back, and then in overtime, you had a shot to beat them in overtime, and then you dropped it, and then Kansas City kicked the field goal to win. And I'm like, what the fuck, man?
Yeah,
you had a shot. You had a shot.
But here's the thing. They weren't going
to win. Hey, look, D, I was trying to give them hope. Okay? I was trying to. I was really trying to. It just is what it is. So
yeah, bro.
Hey, look, I tried. I guess the last couple of ones. Pittsburgh beat Denver. That was
Pittsburgh beat Denver. Now, the one thing that makes that interesting, that real quick, just to go over, is that the fact that Denver had to bring in Driscoll, and Driscoll had a really good game, and actually posed a pretty good comeback against the Steelers, but the Steelers stayed in. Come on, they ain't waver. Steelers was going to win it anyway, but. That was a good comeback. Now, before anybody says no, Driscoll is not the one you think is going to be. No, he's not. He's a backup. He is a backup. So don't you put nothing on him.
Yeah. So and also we gotta get into this. Buffalo and Dolphins. To Fitzpatrick's credit, he did not throw an interception. This was shocking. Buffalo.
You say he didn't throw an interception.
No interceptions. Two TDs. Two touchdowns. No interceptions. Buffalo almost let Miami come back, but to Buffalo's defense credit.
And I was about to say that, but who won the game though? Buffalo.
It was Buffalo, and I gotta say this: Josh Allen, he is looking pretty good when he has a wide receiver and Stephon Diggs.
You know what? I'm gonna say it. I don't like Josh Allen like that.
I think it's fool's gold for right now because we saw what happened last year in the playoffs when Houston pulled the comeback out their ass against them. I'm like, what happened, Buffalo? What the fuck, man? So
all right. Scared money don't make money. This is how we get people listening to us. Let's be bold.
All right.
I'm gonna say it.
Okay.
The Sam Bradford is stronger than you, my son.
When Josh Allen?
The Sam Bradford is very strong in you. I see a quality quarterback, but I see tons of bullshit and fool's gold from you.
I see
1,000-yard games. I see multiple touchdowns. I see real success. But I don't see real winning from you, son.
Possible big contract with Buffalo.
I don't like for right now. I just have this feeling that he ain't.
Yes, put it this way. To his credit,
I want to say this. I will put it this way.
He got Stephon Diggs, and he's making it work. I will give him credit.
I think Josh will stick around the NFL. I mean, I think he will have a really decent career. But within that career, you would have this. Mm-hmm. They gave him how much?
Oh, yeah, it's the Sam Bradford thing, because didn't the Rams overpay him, and then he got injured?
Now, what Sam Bradford did, I have this feeling. There's going to be a rule that's going to be called the Sam Bradford rule. Nigga, the way he finessed the game.
How many teams did he finesse before he finally bounced? How many teams?
He was on the Rams.
They gave him a big contract, and then he went to the Vikings.
Yeah, he went to the Vikings. Hold on, man. I gotta go to Sam Bradford. I gotta go look him up.
Because I remember everybody was popping them jokes like, yo, he is finessing teams left and right with these contracts. Like, yo.
Sam Bradford, pretty quarterback. You know what I mean, man? Nice young man. He's still 32. He's only 32.
Bizarro Ryan Reynolds.
I mean, like, yo, I don't know about Ryan Reynolds. He looks like a not not One Direction. He looks like okay. I got you.
Oh,
Sam Bradford looks like a congressman when he was in college before he got gray hair when he became in Congress. That's who Sam Bradford looks. He
okay.
looks like he's going to be
So
a congressman.
he had a big so he had the big contract with the Rams before they bounced him. He went to the
Mhm.
Eagles that had a contract.
I remember that. That's the big one. The Eagles
Yeah.
gave him money.
Gave him money, and then he got traded to the Vikings, and he had good first season, and that's when North Turner bounced and he regressed. And then he was like, "Well, I want to go." And then he went to the Arizona Cardinals, and
Didn't he get hurt? Didn't he get hurt in Minnesota?
Yeah, he got injured, but then he got traded to the Arizona Cardinals, and he didn't do shit with the Cardinals, and then he retired. So 8 years in the NFL. 8 years.
Wait. Bradford was activated off the injury reserve to the active roster during the divisional round playoffs against New Orleans Saints. However, Case Keenum started the game due to his strong season. Let me tell you something. When Case Keenum, my boy, when the case
Yo, check it. So when he got signed to Arizona, I completely forgot about this. Signed a 2-year contract with Arizona worth up to $20 million the first year, with $15 million guaranteed after 2018. So this motherfucker after 2018 got $15 million guaranteed up front on top of the money that he got from Philly and Minnesota.
Here's my thing. Why would anybody give Sam Bradford any kind of money, man?
Why would the following year? That's when they got Kyler Murray, obviously. So that's $15 million up front, and then Kyler Murray the following year. So it's like,
that's what I'm saying. Why would you put yourself through any of this shit? Why give him $15 million guaranteed? What makes you think? Well, I can tell you this, Sam. You're a lot of things, but you're a guaranteed $15 million quarterback.
Oh man! Now speaking of which, before we move on to the NBA and stuff, Dak after the game, I forgot the player on the Falcons, but he was mic'd up as a lot of teams do, which I'm actually do enjoy. If you go to like each of the NFL teams' individual like YouTube page, the team YouTube page, they have mic'd up things where they show the players on the sidelines mic'd up during plays and their reaction.
Yeah.
And I forgot the player on the Falcons, but he came up to Dak after the game and was like, "Yo, I really appreciate the fact that you came out and talked about, your depression and stuff. Me and my mom, we formed an organization. We have formed an organization for a couple of years, and like, hopefully we can link up and stuff." And it was like, oh, this is kind of stuff that they don't talk about like that. Like they really put out there, like, oh, I mean, because we see players dap it up all the time after the game, but that was kind of the first time I saw like players after we talking about that, like, yo, we should link up on this because this is like
the reason why there's a lot of unless the player does the research, that's like 4 different people you gotta call. Hey, you got what's his face's number?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then on top of that, the dude that probably, I don't know who approached him or not, dude could have been second string. You know what I mean? Second string dude that the NFL doesn't pay attention to because they don't make him enough. They don't make that. He doesn't make the NFL the money that he can be to be called a star. But anyway, it could have been something like that. But that happens all the time. I think that's the one thing I always hate, that misconception that you're an athlete, you can't give back. You can't give back, or you can't do nothing, or you don't have feelings. You're just a robot. I always hate that. So for Dak to have people come up
Tatum Hurst. I think he's the Falcons tight end. That was who it was. Yeah.
So like I say, if you have anybody that, you strike a chord with anybody else that's within your own job status like that, hell yeah, man. I'm glad that happened. The one funny thing though is because I follow them. I follow Young Turks on Facebook, and I get to see their sports, I guess, which is always weird because no bullshit. Hearing liberal values with sports don't connect. It's like those episodes. It's like those episodes.
Really is.
It's like those episodes of Frasier where you see Frazier and Niles at the Seattle Supersonics game. Like
Yeah.
you believe Frazier. Why is Niles there? It's sort of like that.
What is this basketball you're talking of?
But here's the stupid thing about Frazier. Niles would because he actually likes basketball, but I don't discuss it. I just like Sean
Watch
Kemp.
it. Yes,
It's like I just like Sean Kemp. What you want me to?
it feels weird unless
But
you're. It's
still,
kind
but
of like you know
still.
what it is? It's the equivalent of like I remember one year I don't know if it was Fox 5. They showed Condoleezza Rice watching the Redskins game. I'm like, I don't believe you are a Redskin fan, man. I know this
It's
team I'm
always,
watching now, but at the time I was like, I don't believe you're a Redskin fan, man.
but
And I'm
you
not
know,
even a Redskin fan, sir, ma'am.
but it's all it's Young Turks. It's all liberal news.
Yeah.
I can only imagine. Now I've seen the flip side of this, where Fox will only do the whitest of white guys, and or when they do get the black guy, it's weirdly corny, like oddly corny, like more corny than it should be. You know what I mean?
It's not corny, D, because there's various Grams. There's old
We
what's his
talk.
face?
I'm just gonna go with I'm not saying this actually happened to somebody.
Old
Let's
school
just say
Don Lemon corny.
more like he grew up on the main streets of Daytona, and they're like, like
Alright,
that type of thing.
alright,
Like, yeah,
alright.
man, I ain't had no moms there. And he does like this one thing that Republicans fucking bang with, so they like center the whole thing around it. It's sort of like that. Now, Young Turks, what Young Turk sports do is that they try to bring in the issue with sports and all the rest of it. And for most part, and I said the most part, I can appreciate it. But because they're hardline fucking liberals, it
Yeah.
is some of the worst shit in the world. You can't be objective because if you are objective, you're against everything else. And
Yep.
they used Skip Bayless's commentary, not comment, but basically what he said about Dak and the depression and all the rest of
Yeah.
that. I didn't bang with it, but you know what? I actually kind of agree with Skip and someone that you don't want to say that out loud or the rest of that. But then guess what? I think that's been harming a lot of people. So that's it. Bananas, apples, whatever.
Yeah, yeah,
Do
yeah.
better as a people type of thing.
Yeah.
Whatever. Young Turks took that as Skip Bayless is one of the worst motherfuckers.
I figured they were. I mean,
It did take it worse. Oh, how he shaded Jamela Hill, and Jamela, she's a black woman, so she ain't gonna drop that shit. And and, and I'm like she's like, worse than everybody else. Like, yeah, he ain't over the work. I'm like, yeah, you're right. He's probably no worse than everybody else. But that being said, if you were getting voted off the island, I guarantee you wouldn't skip voting you.
look, and because the
So
funny thing is, you say
it's
that about
always weird. It's always weird to see Young Turks bring up these issues, and like, yeah, I agree with them. And then sometimes like, oh, stop.
no, here's the thing. It's funny when Skip said that before we go to the NBA. Skip
Mhm.
said that it was weird because Bomani Jones was kind of indifferent. Like he didn't feel as though Skip should have said it the way he did.
Yeah, I'm
But
the same way.
at the same time, he was like he could understand where Skip is coming from because Skip has probably been in Dak's shoes and probably went about it a different way and felt that his way was probably better than what Dak did. But the flip side to it, I saw a lot of black folks like, man, Skip racist shit. Fuck that nigga. I was like,
And that's the fun part about that. That's the fun part about that. And to me, I hate making that thing. I hate making an argument. Once you start blasting the people you shouldn't, you'll need them later on, and they're not there because you did it. Now, yeah, there are some people, some leaders. There are some people in the community that have done that. Good example is I remember looking at Sopranos, and they mentioned that all of us Italians used to black up you black people, but all of a sudden you got your rap music and you think you don't know, you think you know better, and you got affirmative action, and now you think you just want to be lazy. Like see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They went from support to turning on them. And I know Skip Bayless probably won't because knowing Skip Bayless, he'd do the right thing 9 times out of 10 anyway.
Yeah,
He's an opinionated, cynical asshole. You want to know why I know that? I became a critic 10 years ago, and I have become a cynical, opinionated asshole. So guess what? He's not in the wrong, but at the same time, Skip, shut the fuck up.
Yeah. I mean, look. I love like how Shannon Sharp, like kind of basically respectively, he gave Skip that look, but this was like, I respectfully disagree with you, Skip, but I understand, whatever. So this is funny how the dynamics is actually great because like Skip, like Sharp isn't going to yell it like at Skip like Stephen A would. He's going to say it very respectfully in the way that Shannon Sharp does. So it's like, all right,
No, you already know my feelings on that. You already know how I feel about that, Skip. But you right because of the way this, that, and all the other.
yeah,
But still, you gotta see it from my perspective as a player. And once he says that, you see something in Skip. Skip goes like, he's talking
oh,
as a player. Now, here's something that's a world that I don't know 100% of. I've reported on it all my life. I have
mhm,
made it my life's goal to report these men's feelings, their
mhm,
actions, what they go through. So the second he says as a player, the journalist kicks in Skip like,
mm.
what? Tell me what you go through. Tell me what it is. And even if I still disagree with it, I'm gonna fucking report it. That's
Yeah,
my job. You
yeah.
and I don't. And like, here's the thing though. Here's the thing though. I will still say this. I still feel that anytime you is like, you can't go off you can't go off anything. Anything Skip does that sounds like he's going shading the black race, he's a racist. That's the weird thing that kills me
It's
about
like
that.
he's one of those white people that like how the white people that they mean well, they're not trying to be harmful to minorities, but it's like they'll say something that put their foot in their mouth every once in a while, and it's like you gotta
And
eat that,
here's the
you gotta
funny
eat
thing.
it.
And here's the funny thing. We have seen it the last few years, and I'm surprised a lot of people haven't noticed it either. Skip is one of the white folk that will fully put the foot in their mouth, jab it in there a couple more times to get the full taste of the foot, and be like, "Not doing that again.
I'm good. I'm good.
I'm good. I'm good. Black lives matter. Never hear me say all lives matter ever again in my life." You see
Speaking
what
of,
I'm saying? Those people are great because they learn. They
yeah,
know how to change. And you just hope other people be like that.
yeah,
That's the reason why I'm so against it, because like, Skip ain't the one you need to be worried about. He ain't. He
yeah,
ain't. You need to
yeah.
be worried about Stephen A. Smith, who's the counter opposite of that shit.
Now, so speaking of which, NBA. So the Nuggets and Celtics games are heating up. I'm gonna start. Let's start with the Nuggets Lakers. Um, the Nuggets should be up 2-1 against the Lakers, but game two, like game one, Lakers put their foot up the Nuggets' ass,
They
right?
destroyed game one. Game two, Nuggets
Nuggets had
played
them dead to
excellent game.
rights.
Joker had an excellent game. It was a good back and forth through the last 4 minutes. And I knew it was over. I knew it was over.
Anthony Davis.
The second they had it, second they threw it in. Anthony was right there. Joker jumped up. Jokic got real close in his face, but to me, it was one of those things. By the time he jumped, like, it's too late.
It wasn't wide open, but
Too
damn
late.
it, it was one of
But it
those
was
things
too
where
late.
they
It was just one of those things. I just saw how his arm was placed and how he just, when you see somebody and right before they pull the trigger, you see the geometry in your head, like, oh, that's falling in. It doesn't matter what you do because it's gonna go over your hand. He's gonna shoot it over your hand. It's gonna drop right in, and it did. Amazing. Game three,
oh Nuggets was like, oh fuck you,
Nuggets.
we're learning our lesson. We're not gonna do that shit again,
I
and
will
they
say
did.
this though. I will say this though. I think that's the last they got.
We'll see. Game look.
That was
If
that was
game
a
four
lot.
if game four happens, look, I still feel that this is going to be a 7-game series.
I
I
don't think
still
so. I don't
I
think
think it is because it all hinges on game four. If game four the Nuggets come in and punch the Lakers in the mouth again, it's going to go to game seven.
I will give you this. I will give you this. That's the only chance they have to win the series. Straight up. The only way they can win the series is just going 7 games.
Because
And,
LeBron want to go home immediately, so he trying to get
oh
this
yeah,
shit done and
that's
over
what I'm
with.
saying. The only way they're going to win this series if it goes 7 games, and not only 7 games, you got to get them all as soon as possible. And if
Mhm.
you get 2 in a row like that, that's a good momentum builder. That's not a guarantee, Chris. You know that as well as I do.
Oh yeah, you have to. LeBron is like any other. Like it's really LeBron. Like Anthony Davis is going to do his thing. Rondo is going to do his thing. But like you still have to look out for LeBron because playoff LeBron.
Yeah, and you got to
Yeah.
also got to look at the fact that it can't. Is he distributing the ball right, and all the rest of that
Mhm.
is Cartavius going to actually make a shot today? Do we
Mhm.
want to make a basket today, sir? Is JaVale McGee on top and all the rest of that crap? Is Joker not going to a billion miles per hour? Is Murray controlling? There's a lot of stuff that's going into it, but I feel as though that they prop that will if if there is no more left in the Nuggets, it was all on game three because I seen what they have went through the last three damn games. They gotta be cooked, and I'm talking mentally.
I mean, if you look at last night's game, if you look at game three, there was one point where Lakers were creeping back in. I was like, oh shit, the Nuggets gonna
And that
lose
took
this
and
shit,
that
aren't
took
they? And I
guts.
was like,
And I know what you're talking about. It was around the third quarter. That took
whew.
guts for not only Nuggets not to lose their cool, but they kept it up there and they kept the lead. So it was really hard. I think that's just a toll that you got to go through. But if they want to survive it a little bit longer, they have
Yeah,
to.
they have to do that
They
every night, night in and night out. They have to keep that up. They can't slack. They can't leave. No, you got to put it all out there.
got to keep that momentum on. So me, you have to. I don't care. Like, but they can win game five. They can win game five all they want. They're not winning that damn series.
Until that thing hits zero and you win the series, nope.
No, no. It's like, well, they can lose game four, they can win game five. No, fuck that shit. I hate winning that game five. Let's squeak in. No, that really works, man. That
Nah.
really works. And the way that the Lakers have been playing, you can't afford to take a day
Because
off.
because
Just
if the Nuggets go up, say they go up 3-2, right? If the Lakers were to win game six, that might kill the Nuggets momentum right there.
now, I will tell you this: if the Nuggets win the next game, it's tied up 2-2. The idea, if you're the Lakers, is immediately clip their fucking wings, kill
Or
their
else.
hope, kill their hope right now. Because if they did, they can win four games. That's tough to stop when a team really feels that they can win four games.
Especially a young ass team like that, bruh.
So at this point right now, if the Lakers are smart, you fucking deck them. Go deck them.
Um,
Now over to the East Coast. Yo, good game for the Celtics.
Gordon Hayward coming back was the best thing that happened for the Celtics.
Who knew? Who knew a nigga only scoring 8 points?
I mean, look.
Change the dynamic.
First off, between Hayward coming back looking like he orders IPA at a fucking bar and shit, you
I
know.
mean, yo, man, that's a mustache that says I had a black girlfriend and I didn't care for it as much as I thought I did.
I mean,
Anyway,
shout out to the birth of his kid, by the way. His kid just got birthed and stuff. They were making a big deal out of him wanting to, if he was going to leave the bubble to see the birth of his kid, and then he said that he was just going to stay in the bubble. And everybody was like, "Oh, you should be there with the birth of your son." He's like, "No, my team needs me. I need to be here. Hey, Godspeed." You know.
Hold on, women. There's got to be like, oh, fourth child. That nigga, all right. That's his
I
fourth.
mean, I didn't know he had 4 kids. I thought he just had one. I thought that was.
I gotta be honest with you. The only reason why I was there for my third kid was because I'm a broke nigga. So I'm gonna see where my money's going towards.
Yeah. So, but I mean, but right
Let me
now,
see this. All right, time for D to be a motherfucking creep. Man, I mean, she's a. You know what? You know what, Gordon? Those are some adorable little girls right there, man. Oh, that's nice.
Right.
You know what? I'm gonna say this about Gordon Hayward's wife. She looked like a white girl. She looks like a regular white girl to me. But this is when she'll win for me. I'm like, okay, whatever, Sarah. You don't want to watch the basketball game. Actually, I did because last night's game was just so phenomenal. The fact that the guys kept on winning on fast break. Hey, bitch, you can't make my dick harder than what you just did right now. So shut up. She looks like she's the girl next door, doesn't she? A regular
Yeah.
white girl.
Hey,
And
look,
guess what?
I see the
I
kids,
get
and I'm like, that's some Philip Rivers shit right here.
it
really
is, isn't it? But here's the thing. Here's the I guarantee you, because the way she looks and the fact that he's on kid number 4, he loves her. He like that's his. He loves her.
There's
Also, I'm just saying, as a dude that got 3 kids, and I ain't got that much money. If I had money, I ain't stopping.
there's a reason why Philip
I'll
Rivers
be on kid number 9, nigga.
Philip Rivers is a multi-million-dollar quarterback. He can afford 9 kids. Straight up. It's like, I got 9 kids. It's all right, cool.
Gordon Hayward had a nice rookie contract and got a good fucking contract from the Jazz. Got a good contract for the Jazz and got paid even more when he went to Boston. So
He fine. If they say Gordon Hayward going for kid number 5, it's like, good for you, man.
Look. Here's we make fun of Antonio Cromartie, but I can afford it. It's almost how I felt today when I made fun of damn, y'all making all these jokes, about getting the PS5 secure. It's just $400, and everybody's like, "Shut the fuck up! It's about the finesse." I'm like, "It is."
I mean, I'll say this though. I think it's a funny thing about like look, as somebody that marriage is going to probably come at some point soon. If I like me, I think kids just hit different. The amount of kids you have just hits different by race. I think 4 kids as a black person, especially if you're like middle class and it up, all right, that's good, that's great, that's awesome. I never see a black family like that purposely says, "Hey, we're going to have more than 4 kids." I've never seen it.
Only one
Never.
that got that is they all got different daddies, and I hate saying it like that, but it's very rare you get a.
I think my dad's family is probably
It's
the
but
closest.
let's just be real.
Yeah.
I'm talking nowadays. I'm not talking about our parents' generation. Let's
Oh
talk.
yeah, yeah. Nowadays for us, nah, yeah.
I'm talking about Gen X on down. I'm
Yeah.
talking about Gen X on down. They exist, but you know
Very rare.
you're not getting no tribes like you used to get back then. Oh, there's eight. They got
3
eight
tops.
brothers. We got 8 brothers.
3 tops. 3. That's all you get. 3 tops. That's it.
I got three. I got three. My little sister got three. My big sister got three. Yeah, all three.
I don't foresee UD going for number 4. I don't see it. I just can't.
If I get number 4, and I'm saying this on my show, if I get number 4, either A, I came into money, or what the fuck did you do? For real. No. And look, this is me making fun of myself. So what made you think you can take care of one more kid?
Because I'm a super dick.
And let me tell you something. Much like shooting up the club, there's no thought process to it. It's just, Wick.
Here's the difference though.
I got Wick.
D is one of those fathers. I think maybe this is our generation. This is where it kicks in, right? D, since we've been doing this podcast, he's had plans for his kid. Like, yo, Donnie gonna be on a fucking European soccer team. This kid gonna be here, and I'm like, you know what? You are one of those fathers that got plans, and there's a possibility your kids might fall through on it. Possibly, it can happen.
Only one is. I think that's my youngest. And I say that with not even me being funny. I really do. My third one. No joke, is going to be a star. I really do think that. But I think every parent feels that way. Oh, my son's going to play football and all the rest of that. Then you find out your son doesn't like to run. Oh, my son's going to be a basketball player. You find out that dang don't like basketball. Oh, my son's going to do this, do that. You find out your son's gay as shit, and he likes to do really gay shit, like dressing up. Like, so you can't predict where your kids are going to be at. And it's kind of funny. We're seeing different kids now in sports now, where you still see the kids who don't have a mom. Well, they have a mom that or somebody, but they're by themselves. All they had was the sport they played in. That's what they are. You have another one who are Michael Jackson, which they have a dad. I don't know. You better win that football game, son. That crap.
Yeah.
Then you have the third ones who have nurturing parents who just like, man, I'm an accountant. His mama, she's a swim instructor. I ain't see this nigga being a track and field star. I ain't know where this came from. I don't even look at track. Like, you know what I mean? You get those parents. And then you get the fourth one. And my dad said this is an important one because you're seeing it in basketball. Nepotism. That one is the B word because you're seeing it in basketball where a lot of these kids, you see like, oh, that's what's the face's son. Oh, that's what's the face's son. Well, that's what's you're gonna see when you with WNBA players. You're gonna see with their daughters and their sons, like, oh, that's what's the name daughter son. Yeah, she used to play for the Sparks, nigga. Yeah, that's her son. That nigga bad.
You just said the good word that describes this next bit of news. Guess who's going to be the Kings' new head coach?
The Kings?
Mm-hmm.
Who?
Sacramento Kings.
Who?
Good old Luke Walton. That's nepotism for your ass right there.
Wasn't he already the no, he was a coach for
Lakers?
No. He was coaching, no, who was he coaching after he left the Lakers? Oh God, I thought he was already coaching for them or let's see, Luke Walton. Who was it before after the Lakers? Was it he just got in for the Kings. You're right. God, so was it like, God, he's 40. Really, Luke? You're 40.
He looks 40, sir.
He's 40. Wow. Oh, he was already with the Lakers. Oh, he was already with the Kings.
assist,
Oh, okay. He was assistant.
assistant coach for the Warriors, head coach for the Lakers for 3 years, and now he's the coach of the Kings.
He must have been the assistant coach for the
He was
Kings.
assistant coach for the Kings for a minute,
That's
but
what it
like
was. That's
the
what it was.
Kings,
That's what I
the
was saying.
Kings is the definition of an organization that
Hey,
Bonnie Divock, number one, deserved to get fucking fired because he was really riding off of I used to play for the Kings and we were great at one point, and they just threw him in as a GM, and I'm like, he's not a good GM.
Proven to me that he's one of the worst GMs. He doesn't know what he's doing.
He got it on his name. That's
And
like
And I really feel like the organization is too scared to do anything, to move and all that. Then on top of that, the organization itself is just beat up, man. It's almost to the point where I feel like Sacramento doesn't even need a team on one.
put him in Las Vegas, like you said last week.
They've been in that room too. But like I said, there's been a couple teams that have been in the room where to be the ones to go to Las Vegas. I remember the Magic was actually up for that.
I mean, if the Kings go, that would be actually pretty interesting because that would be like what? It'll just be Golden State, the Lakers, and the Clippers in the California state. So it's like, well, one less California team in our area.
Well, I stand by that. I think it even the Clippers. The Clippers need to get out of just need to get out of California.
Just what to distance themselves from being part of the Lakers.
California.
Well, they do share the same stadium with the Lakers. I keep forgetting that.
They need to go ahead and go to Albuquerque. Be the old Albuquerque Coyotes or some crap like that.
Oh, Arizona doesn't have a basketball team, do they? No, Phoenix. Yeah, never mind. No, you can't. You can't go to. No. Yeah, New Mexico doesn't have a basketball team, so yeah, maybe you're right.
Boy, that sucks. What do you like basketball? You live in New Mexico. Who you watch? I think what the Spurs, the Suns.
Phoenix Suns in Arizona and the Arizona Cardinals. That's a bit. New Mexico does not have a basketball team.
Oh, you know what? I'm gonna say it. I can imagine you being in New Mexico and being a Jazz fan of jazz. I'm not joking. I think that a lot of Utah Jazz fans in New Mexico. I wouldn't be shocked at that.
I was as a kid, and this is no slight to any Utah Jazz fans that are watching this. I've never met like an adamant black Utah Jazz fan.
I can't say I haven't either.
Not even in this area. Like, it's one thing for us, Black Excellence. We like Karl Malone back in the day because he's a black guy. So, all right, Karl Malone, cool, right? But, like, I've never met, like, a black Utah Jazz fan that's like, man, I love me some Karl Malone. I love him. Like, I just never seen it, man. I'm sorry. I mean, if I'm offending anybody, my bad. I just never seen it, man.
Now, see, it's kind of funny, actually, when I mentioned Young Turks. They did do something on Karl Malone. That was what that blew my head back. Like, I'm sorry, how old was that girl? How old was you, Carl?
I remember that because it came out right. It came out right around the time of the Michael Jordan
Last Dance. My Last Dance, when they started talking about it. I'm like, yo, Karl Malone is one of the most dirty dick motherfuckers ever.
And on top of that, and I like the fact that, look, I don't know if we talked about it when we were mentioning the Last Dance, but Karl Malone, there was an era of like, why did you come to me to talk about Michael Jordan? Fuck that nigga. That's the look that he had in his face. Like, you want me to tell me?
Everybody, but I've been meaning to say this for a while. Everybody except BJ Armstrong had a problem about being in those interviews. Even Scotty, who was favored in most of them, was like, I really don't want to do this shit. Dennis Rodman always looked like he's busy. Like, yeah, that was good. Did that yesterday.
But he's having fun doing it though. At the same time, it's like, yeah.
And I really feel like Dennis likes talking about it because he really didn't bang with Jordan like that. But this is a nigga that got me some rings, so I'm going to respect it for the rest of my life.
Again, just as Jordan that was like, hey, Dennis, you want to go to Las Vegas and fuck around with Madonna? Go for it. As long as you're back here by 8 o'clock for the game, we're fine. All right, cool.
All right, see, that's
Jordan gave him a curfew, and he was like, all right, cool. I can go buck wild till 8 o'clock. All right, cool.
I mean, that takes choice. I've been meaning to say this. I've been meaning to say this because I played 2K and I see how he looks like in 2K. BJ Armstrong looks like every stud I have ever seen in my life. She's short as all hell, got the nice lineup, got the little junk and all the rest of it. BJ Armstrong look like every stud out there. Skinny as all head, tiny.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, what? My girl home, nigga. What?
Shit.
Like, what you
Before
want, my nigga? What you want, my nigga? Like, first off, dog, you got titties. Stop acting like you about to fight me.
first off, before we move to MMA and close out, right? I'm really mad that we forgot to mention this. So Tyrod Taylor had a broken rib in the game that he was playing, and it's hard for me to really say this is schism or the doctors just being fucking stupid, but they were injecting the needle, I guess, for the pain because it's a broken rib, and they ended up puncturing his lung, which basically means the doctors was like, well, we basically advise you not to play with a punctured lung.
I'm gonna say this. I think it was an accident.
Okay, yeah, that's fair.
But I think the schism, when the schism comes in, is number one, we don't trust the NFL, and
Yeah.
number two, it really feels that the world, the NFL, is actively against Tyrod Taylor.
That dude's just
It really feels like
all around. It's always one thing. It's something else.
If it ain't one thing, it's something else. If I'm playing good, then all my team's playing like shit. If I'm playing like shit, all of a sudden I got the best wide receivers in the league, and I'm not efficient enough. It's always something. And I feel with that one, it's just another string of bad. Real talk, I retire. I'll retire. I would retire. If I was Tyrod Taylor, I would retire. Because I'm tired of seeing this brother go on. This best man.
I mean, look now. The Dallas Cowboy in me would be like, Tony Romo played in the game with a punctured lung.
No, Chris, you're doing it wrong. You got to swing it ahead. I tell you, by gum, that Tony Romo. By gum. It's by gum.
By gum. Which, by the way, I can say this.
The power and the tenacity to go for it.
I can say this much. As a Cowboy fan, me and you will rub that shit in the 49ers' faces every day of the fucking week. Like, we whooped y'all asses with Romo with a punctured lung. What's your excuse? ACL injury? Fuck yourself, buddy.
What the fuck wrong with you? What you do? Like, if I was Tony Romo, you couldn't do nothing around me as a kid, man. My son, like, Dad, I'm mowing the lawn. And what's the problem? It's a steep hill. You know, it was a steep hill, son. Steep hill is when you
breathe in one lung, son.
No. A steep hill is when you go out for the first time to hold a fucking football for somebody to kick. You're not supposed to hold it, and then that person fumble, and you got to be the one to do it, huh? You gonna do it?
Look, I love Romo to death. I feel Romo is gonna do that low-key passive-aggressive shit to his kids when they grow up. Because I think his oldest is like maybe 8 years old, I think.
Something like that. I think he's
gonna do some passive-aggressive, like, it's a nice throw, son. But when I had a punctured lung, I threw for 50 yards. What the fuck you doing?
I'm tell you something, son. You know what? Like, I'm having a hard time. You know what's a hard time? Dealing with Michael Strahan and the defensive line of the Giants. Man, this is hard. I tell you what's hard. Being blamed for a loss because the defense don't want to stop.
Tell you what's hard. Jerry Jones staring out a hole into your heart as you try to get signed for a big contract.
Oh, Dad, this is hard. You know what's hard, son? Having to blame that y'all lost y'all first game in Cowboy Stadium because of you, because I didn't mess it up, because Jason Witten could have hold on to the ball and bounced out of his hand and went. But I got blamed for it, though. I got blamed for it.
Son, I'm not racist, but Dez might have called me a nigger or two. I don't know.
Let me tell you something. No, you're doing it wrong. You don't. Be honest with you, son. I'm not racist. Dez has to be one of the most ignorant black motherfuckers I have. Wait a minute. Hey, Dad, yeah? Ain't you half Mexican? That ain't the point, nigga.
I'm white passing, all right? You get that?
It's like, Dad, ain't you half Mexican? And you a third Mexican. What's your fucking point?
Oh, my God.
My pops hit me something like that when I was a kid. Like, Dad, he be blah, blah, blah. Nigga, you part of it, too. Shut up.
Speaking of which, Woodley versus Covington in MMA. I watch it. Me and D watch MMA. I think we know the basics of a lot of the big time, MMA people. Some of the lesser ones, not so much. but we have at least an
Nah, I
idea.
don't go. And when it comes to certain people, I don't go into division, nothing like that. We know
But the
I know
names
the
though,
bigger names and
we
all
know
the
the
rest.
names though. But Covington and Woodley was interesting because shout out to our boy Charlie. Charlie, he knows this shit just like our boy Average Joe. Joe, both of them know their shit when it comes to the fighters and if they can win. And Charlie off rip was like, I don't got Woodley winning this fight, but we'll see, right? And I'm like, all right, I trust Charlie. Then the fight started. And then Woodley just stopped going for body shots against Covington, and Covington was like, "All right, and I'll just beat the shit out of you."
And Covington beat the shit out of him, man.
And we found out that Woodley had a cracked rib during the process and still kept fighting. And I was like, that explains a lot during the
To
course of the
me,
fight.
and to me, that was so stupid. I feel it's stupid because I feel like it reminded me of, even though I still think it's an excuse. When Floyd Mayweather went into that fight with Ricky Hatton and had a broken hand, and he knew his hand was broken, but
But
he
he
went
still
into the
did it. And
fight.
I'm like, why, dude?
I like now. Here's two things. See, boxing, I get it. You don't want to postpone the date longer than it should be, stuff like that. I understand that. You did all that training for this date, and now this day has come up, and I can't do it. I totally understand that when you want to throw some audible quarters on your hand up, whatever you got to do.
yeah.
I get that crap. Now, but football, basketball, everything else is different. Just to me, that's just everything is different. And and not I wouldn't even say that. Just to me, any combat sport is different. I don't understand how wrestlers know that they have a bad hip and they still go out there to fall on the hip. Undertaker was one of the best examples of that shit. This dude has zero cartilage in his knee, zero cartilage in his legs. I mean, hip replacement, knee replacement. Pretty much his legs were half robot. You know what I mean? There's no way he was a.
Dude, Kevin Nash. You remember that picture? We talked about this. That picture where he was like, when you saw his leg and his hip, he was wrestling like that for years. And it was the same thing. Like
And
you said,
then you have
and he just like I think the year before last, he just got it fixed and went through the rehab process, and it's fine now.
And then
That's
you have
crazy.
you have people that go through degenerative bone stuff early in their career and all the rest of that, and they still fight on. So I always think it's stupid. I mean, and I get why they did it, because I get why he probably went through it because he thought he can do it. But I feel that sometimes as a ref, you gotta point out. Ref didn't see it. I'm not saying that it was clear that Woodley was hurt, but sometimes you just gotta notice, like, nigga, you're not doing certain offenses. Is there anything hurting you? Is there something? Are you sure you
He
want to go
didn't
on?
show it
But
initially.
here's the
After
but
he
here's the
was like,
but
oh,
here's
that's
the
playing
but here's the funny thing about that. Even if he did walk up to Woodley like after the first round and notice something was wrong, it wouldn't make a difference. The fight's still going. No, you're gonna have to knock me out at that point, which is fine. Now, if you saw how Covenant did what a professional was supposed to do. And know what I said, a professional. He is a professional in that realm. Inside that ring, I don't say nothing about Covington, because at
great.
that point, it's not about your politics, not about your racism. It's about how good of an athlete you are.
Oh,
And that's why somebody asked me, how can these players play with these racists and all that? Fucking shit happens. How
side
do you
note.
like how? Like how's that a big deal to you?
But yeah, outside of that though, I have to point out there's a video that D put up on our Three Black Geeks page with Usman.
Oh,
Usman,
Usman,
Usman will definitely give Covington the business, and it's funny because Usman knows this shit, and as you pointed
Usman,
out,
because
Usman,
Usman was the one that did it to him.
and,
I'll
and,
never forget.
and
I'll
Usman
never
literally
forget.
laughed at Nigerian during the whole interview. It was fucking
I
hilarious.
was because I was just like him the whole time, because all he did was cover and did his little, cocky, I'm the best
Manga,
bullshit.
manga shit,
And he said something back to Usman. Usman just like, all right, hey man, you want to get a little shit off there? You got a little bit of dog stuff left on your chin. I would have did the same thing. Covered it. Oh, real fucking funny. We're gonna see. And Usman the whole time was like me, like, you funny, dog. You real funny, because they ain't
You mad, D? You mad, man?
but I was just like him, like, yeah. You're like, you're not gonna get none of that. You're like, you knew I was a better fighter. How was you the better fighter?
I mopped
I
you up, dude. What are you talking about?
and I was like him, because I even said it. I broke your face.
There's pictures. There's video here, dude.
There's a video. There's a video out there. We put it up on Three Black Geeks when it happened. I gotta find it again. Probably we'll come up on something, but whatever. I cannot wait to see.
I might put this as the intro on the audio version of this podcast. I think
you should. I think you should. But I still remember he lost to Usman. He got that clip with him getting rocked. You just see it in slow motion. Get rocked. Lift every voice and sing.
The jokes on Twitter were fucking hilarious.
Here's my thing. Shout outs to all my Nigerian people. I love Nigerian niggas, man. Y'all some thieving ass niggas. I love y'all. But y'all look like y'all some hustling, shifty ass niggas. I love y'all. But here's the thing. There's nobody fucking with the Nigerian nightmare.
No, you not, man.
Sorry, you want to fuck with Usman again? Yo, rock his shit again. And I do. Look, when Usman started laughing, like, yeah, you went over back to your. He said you went back to your tribe so they can see you smoke signals. Here's the thing, white people. You cannot make us feel bad when you bring up shit that is our people. Like, yeah, I bet you grow maize. Yes, they did.
Yeah,
I don't get mad. Like a white boy called me spear chucker. It's like, oh, so you respect my rank as a spear chucking nigga that can get you from 100 yards. So I think
it'll step further. I think a lot of racism is starting to lose its luster, D. I really think it is.
Here's the thing. I think the N-word still hits people differently.
Oh, the N-word hits hard, but it's all the other extra shit that's like.
Yeah, the N-word hits people differently every night. White person call me a nigga. I'm the one to laugh because, like, you didn't really say that.
Yeah,
dude, you're 155 pounds. D is 300 pounds. And I'm 2 inches taller than you. You did not just tell me that.
Do you believe in yourself in saying that? I don't think.
Like, yo, like, and look, somebody said, what if it's a big white boy that can kick your ass? I'm going to let him go because I'm going to laugh him off. Like, that's all you have. Even you kick my ass, it's like, Black Lives Matter, motherfucker. Like, what you want? Like, I don't understand it.
I'm sorry,
like,
I would have to go Ric Flair on the ass, dirty play in the game on that one, man. I'm sorry.
I'm gonna be real with you. I don't want to see me fighting the racists because I will bite them.
There will be nut shots. There will be marks. It's like, man, black man whooped the shit out of him. I'm like, yep.
Yeah, Mr. Shaw, you bit my client over 15 times on the arm. Why? Because he wasn't playing fair.
It's like, hey, Black Lives Matter, dog.
You know how to fight, kind of.
No, but but continue what you say. My bad.
No, I'm just saying. You're right. I think a lot of racism is pathetic. Let's make it very clear. Racism is very pathetic, and when you use that in the lexicon of, you use that type of lexicon when it's within sports, it doesn't work to me. Thank you. It don't work to me. It don't work to me. Like, oh man, look at all these Africans. Like, so what? So what, man? You're attacking this person. You're attacking his race. That has nothing to do with it. Like, one thing to me, the reason why I love sports is because it's a good equalizer for some folk.
Because that comeuppance, it hits 100 times over.
It's comeuppance, and it's also one of those sports where NBA is a black man's sport. Then you get somebody like Tyler Hero who ain't missing a fucking shot, and it's glorious. You know what I'm saying? You'll see like a position that's made for a white guy, and then you have this motherfucker named Michael Vick that just changed the reason why a quarterback is a quarterback. You know what I mean? That's what makes sports beautiful to me. That's the reason why I love soccer. I love soccer because I have a favorite Portuguese player, a favorite Brazilian player, a favorite Nigerian, Guyanese, English, all of them. And even if you put them all on the field, like, who's the best one? Could it be the black guy? Could it be the white guy? It doesn't matter because it's an equalizer. It's a sport. That's what it's supposed to be to me. So when you bring up somebody's race in it, either A, you're doing that to hype your own self up, whatever little ego you need to hype up, or B, you are asking for an ass whooping. You're just asking somebody to unleash that rage upon you. And here's my thing. Why do white people want all of the anger of black people to be put upon them? Do you want it?
What's your game from that? Like, it's like, come on, dog. Comeuppance is a thing. It's like, look, this is why I laughed. And again, shout out to Charlie. He's a Patriots fan. he knows there's some. And look, as much as a lot of people, black people from Boston, saying it's not racist, it still has that stigma, right? So he was saying
Oh,
you
it
already.
definitely does.
Yeah, so he said you already know there's a segment of Patriots fans that hate the fact that a black man is the quarterback, but they got to eat that shit if they go on a win streak and actually get an actual winning season under them because they got to eat it. They got to. They ain't no getting past that shit. Like
All
it's
right,
like
Charlie, if you watching this, bro, I can tell you this. I know that is true because I've seen it happen with the Redskins several times. It's funny. It's funny. If there's racism within your town, watch what happens when that black person wins stuff for them. You can just see the
RG3's year one.
you can see the hypocrisy of it. It kills me because who was John Thompson, God rest that man. So he talked about that when he lived in Boston, how much he hated it. He
Mhm.
hated living in Boston because where he lived in DC all his life, and thank God for him. DC has always been somewhat of a safe zone for black folk. We can walk around and do certain things that you couldn't do back then in the 1950s Boston. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? And even then, it is stupid that you have to literally see their fucking hypocrisy. Good
Mhm.
example of that is hearing all these white people being on the metro, hearing all these white people talk about how terrible Mexicans and everybody else that takes away from their country are, and all of a sudden, boom, boom, ballpark, waterfront, and all of them get out to go to the Nationals game to watch a bunch of Spanish niggas hit a ball.
I would say to a degree.
It's weird, and it feels it's hypocrisy, but at the same time, it feels like nigga, you only here for my entertainment. That's the insulting
Mhm.
part about it. You know what I
I mean,
mean?
it's an unfortunate part of the process and stuff.
And
But
that, like I said, that's the thing that sucks. Sports are supposed to be an equalizer.
but
The best black boxer can lose to the best white boxer, or
mhm.
vice versa. It doesn't matter because it comes to how good you play that game. That's what it's supposed to be. And when
but
it brings up racism, it's pathetic. I'm
but
sorry.
but speaking of which, before we get into our NFL picks, huge shout out to our man in F1, Lewis Hamilton, on a 4-game racing streak, and he has a 55-point lead, and is about to tie Mr. Michael Schumacher for a 91 race win haul. Lewis Hamilton, nobody can fucking touch him, and the
It,
dude's cooking. He's cooking right now.
I
Like,
will say this. I will say this. Well, at least what I have learned, what I have known about racing and all that, you do get these racers, much like golf. You get these guys that are going to be in a hot streak for a couple few years. Hamilton has nobody been challenging almost I want to say a decade plus, but I think it's about a decade.
just about a decade.
Just about a decade because I think like just about that. But anyway, but Hamilton has been killing it. Him and his little brother have been killing it so
Oh,
much.
his little brother racing?
Yeah, his little brother races. His little brother's, of course, just like Serena Venus. Of course, there's going to be the weaker one. Same thing. I think Bubba Wallace's brother. I think Bubba Wallace got a brother, something like that. Whatever.
Shout out to Bubba Wallace because Michael Jordan
Yeah, Michael
15.
Jordan.
I'm like,
Yeah,
what?
yeah. It's all good, man. Look, Michael Jordan's North Carolina nigga. You're like, oh yeah. Ain't no niggas go to the NASCAR game. Let's do that. Let's do that. That's like, look, here's Michael Jordan. As a black man, I always frequent white people's events. I always wanted to be more black people.
I'm sorry, like the picture, when they dropped that news, the picture that they used, I don't know whether it's just Michael Jordan, like he just has that look like he's just been drinking and he's like 3 sheets to the wind, but it's
Yeah.
the same red eyes and him smiling. I'm like, you
Y'all just picking the worst picks of Mike.
it's just like what?
But to be objectively honest, Michael has not taken a good picture since 2006. So
This is true. I mean, it's it is what it is. I mean, what do you gonna do?
but yeah, I think it's amazing that Hamilton has had it as long as he had. Has doing it as long as he had.
But the Black Lives Matter thing still sticking. He's still going
It's sticking.
strong.
He's always been. That's the thing. I always enjoyed players that are already saying something before it becomes a hashtag, before it becomes a movement.
Mhm.
He's been doing that. He's been doing that for a while. He's just been waiting for a hashtag so he can get noticed for doing it.
I mean,
So,
look, I appreciate that Black people are finally paying attention to F1 to a degree. Like I didn't
and it's
start
because of him.
Yeah,
It's
I didn't
because
pay
of him.
attention until like late last year because I was getting into kart racing. Because I think last year DC and Baltimore had some races that were
Yeah,
happening.
we did. I don't know nothing about it though. I didn't know. I
I
heard
actually
about it.
I watched the one at RFK. I didn't get tickets for it, but I kind of watched it outside
That's the one I
looking in
wanted
and
to go
stuff.
to. And
That
that
one
was
was
the one
fun
I
to
wanted to go.
watch. But the one in Baltimore, I watched that race. It's amazing how they can transform parts of the city that you recognize and they just make it part of the track and you can just recognize it. But it's just amazing how it looks night and day different. Like even at RFK, it's
The
like
arcade one is kind of funny because I feel like they should just let the motherfuckers drive on Benning Road, but it won't.
really shit. The middle road wasn't so fucked up. They probably
Dig
could.
it. Hey, look, even the good parts of it. Benning Road, they've been fixing Benning Road for the last 17 years.
Look, real talk. If it was like, because overseas, they'll fucking shut down downtown parts of some of those countries and let them race. If downtown DC didn't have fucked up roads, they could do it downtown DC.
And here's the funny thing: they could do that, but then, oh God, that's a lot of maintenance.
I
That's a
know,
lot of
man.
maintenance. And
Oh,
I have to be honest with you. Even shutting down part of Washington D.C. on a Sunday, that is insane.
that would
Even
be
on a
dope, though.
Sunday, that's
I want to
insane.
see it so bad, though, because it would
I
look
would
so
love
dope, man.
I
Oh,
would love it. I think DC is one of those cities that you would love to see at least a couple times. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to make it a yearly thing.
you see it in
You
Baltimore, and you're
want to do that every now and then. You know what I mean?
you see it in Baltimore, and you're like, oh, I wish DC, because I mean, they can't do it in Annapolis, because Annapolis is just
Here's the funny thing, and the way they did in Baltimore, if I ain't say they did in Baltimore, of course they gave me smooth roads in Baltimore. There's only like 18, it was only like 8 of them. So,
yeah, I mean, look where the roads is at, where they have it at. They can actually make the adjustments and stuff too. So
yeah, exactly. And if I ain't mistaken, they used the ones by the harbor, didn't they?
yeah, by the harbor over
See,
there
of
by
course.
yeah.
And
So
here's the sick part. That's the best. Even though those roads are shit, those are the best roads in the whole
they shut
city.
down partially over there by like the Orioles Stadium and by the harbor. So the roads are kind of so it's easier to do it that way. But I see your point on that. But
Yeah, those are the best. But here's the funny thing. Real talk. Somebody from Baltimore could probably straighten me out on that. What other part of the city would you love to have that at? I just being honest. The harbor. It better
yeah,
be at the harbor. If anywhere in Baltimore, it better be at the harbor. Where is it? Through the hood? How's this look? Like I would love to know where it goes. But like what? When they racing the barrel alive? When they racing from barrel alive to no, they racing from horseshoe to barrel alive? That they doing that?
man, look, I would love if they did like a mini gumball rally from the horseshoe to the fucking
I would love
Maryland Live. That would be fucking dope as shit. Like, who's the fastest that could get there that quick?
and that's what I'm talking about. I love the fact that Hamilton, in his own way, he has put more eyes on it,
Mhm.
and he's going to beat the record. He's going to beat
Oh, he
every.
gonna beat the record.
He's going to annihilate every record, and it's going to be a while till somebody does that. It's like I said, just like golf, you just got to wait for who's the next guy that has that
I
next
mean,
wave.
Tiger Woods was breaking records left and right, and it's like, all right.
Here's the thing I will say about Tiger Woods that made Tiger so interesting, because when his wave was big, Phil Mickelson was on his shit too. So
Mm-hmm.
real talk, let's just be real, Chris. You had two phenomenal golfers that were changing the game, period, at the same time. That is unheard of. You have two major golfers like that do that. And yeah, Phil kind of won, but at the same time, Tiger's Tiger, dog.
I mean, oh, speaking of which, so before I keep saying this, but so there was something that happened in golf real quick. Fucking Bryson DeChambeau won the U.S. Open, and he won it off the fact that he kind of went for strength training to win. Like he put on 30 pounds, and he really like
Wait. My man took it seriously.
he took the shit seriously, put on 30 pounds, and he was like, I used to believe on the science in the golf, but now I'm going to go on the athletic side. And
Bryson DeChambeau.
yes,
DeChambeau. Wow.
Chambo.
Wow, that's Canadian. And no, that's Modesto. He's from California. Wow. Niggas
I mean, and like he rocked it out on that one.
240. Niggas
Mhm.
240. Hey, uh, that's how he look.
Yeah.
If he put on girth, yeah, I can tell. You can tell that he's a yeah, you can tell that he put on a
And
little bit
everybody
of
was
weight.
And everybody
Put
was
on
saying
a
this.
tiny bit of weight just to
So everybody was like,
make a cut so you hit it on. I'm cool
and
with that.
everybody was saying, "Is this going to be the new thing?" And somebody was like, "No, I don't think this is going to be a new thing because I don't think you can replicate that with just everybody. You
And
just,
that's not a proven formula anyway.
yeah,
Um, there have been guys to do not only just to tone their arms a certain way, but Tiger Woods even had a leg regimen where he
he had
said
an
he will work
ACL
out his.
injury. He had an ACL injury at one point and couldn't play for shit for like a year because
Yeah,
of that.
but still, you do different things with legs, and that's the weird thing about golf. It's about positioning. Yeah, that's a wear on your knees. It's a wear on your ankles. It's a wear on your back, and it kills me because there's no contact. But being in that position, doing that same motion
Just
over and over and over again, especially if you were hard, if you're one of those dudes that like launching the ball like you Happy Madison, yo, bruh, that's
apparently
got
that's really that's what the Chombo did. You put on 30 pounds and was like, "Fuck it." Like,
My man was like Bob off of Tekken, speed and weight.
oh man,
That's not
but
a
yeah.
proven winner, but yeah, golfers always had these little things like I'm gonna do this more, I'm gonna do that more, just to get an edge. You know how that is,
So let's get to these picks. So the Thursday night game.
man.
Oh, this is going to be a shit show.
It's gonna be a shit storm. If that's the
Miami, Jacksonville. I'm going Miami. Fitzmagic.
no. I have to go with Jacksonville because they're on the road.
Believe in Minshew? You believe in Minshew, sir?
Oh yes, sir. I believe fully in Gardner. Yeah, I'm calling by his real name, Gardner Minshew.
Uncle Rico's stepson.
Yes, I believe in the mustache. I think, but no, I really mean it. I think they're just a better team. Even though the Dolphins have been really,
FYI, I'm not saying it.
but even though I'm not saying either. But even though the Dolphins have been really trying, they've been trying, and I think they look if they win this week, I want to be surprised. But I'm going for Jackson.
It's gonna be a close game, so we'll see. Chicago, Atlanta. This is gonna be funny because Atlanta is gonna come in there like they gotta prove some shit after losing to Dallas. Again, just putting this out there just to rub the salt in the wound. Shout out to Dak and his 400 and some odd yards, the first player in Dallas history to get that.
Do that and win, yeah.
Breaking records off the back of the Falcons.
I'm going to say Chicago wins.
I'm going Chicago.
That's not even me being spiteful. I just think Chicago will win this one. Atlanta's got to be like low, just like low right now. Now, yeah, smart money would say they will bounce back and win this one. I guess Chicago.
That Chicago defense, though, it's still fucking. So
Chicago defense is still Chicago defense.
This next game, I think, is going to be a test, so to speak, for the Rams. They play Buffalo. Now, we talked about Buffalo's defense. Buffalo's offense has to be on point against the Rams.
Yes, they do. I think that being said,
hopefully Jalen Ramsey doesn't get. Look, we didn't mention this when Dallas lost to the Rams. Jalen Ramsey was getting smoked by CeeDee Lamb and fucking and Amari Cooper. Despite
I wouldn't say CD. I wouldn't say CD Lamb. It was just where CD came off because CD was playing the slot, so I wouldn't go on there. He was getting Cooper. Cooper was getting them, but look, here's the thing. I don't deny that Jalen Ramsey is top 5.
Yeah, I'm not saying he shit.
I don't think he's that good, but Jalen, he did all right against Amari, so I can't agree.
I want to see what he's going to do against Stephon Diggs. That
will be interesting, but I think he'll do good against Stephon Diggs because Stephon Diggs ain't really. Stephon Diggs to me just makes big plays. He don't necessarily.
He has a chip on his shoulder, understandably to a degree. I get it.
We got to see where it goes. Yeah.
I'm going Buffalo on this one though.
Buffalo.
So we got the team from Washington versus the Browns.
Now,
better judgment. I'm gonna go.
No, I take that back. I take the Rams.
All right. I guess a better judgment on this next one. I'm gonna go with the team from Washington beating the Browns because even though the
Browns got it. Browns got this.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Look, if you're the Browns, this is a winnable game. So you need to win this. Man.
I'm not leaving anything to chance for the Browns anymore. Nope. Not gonna do that to me. So I'm going Washington on this one. I gotta believe. I gotta believe it, man. I'm sorry. Like it's just.
I'm going with Washington. I'm going with the Browns.
Tennessee, Minnesota. I'm going Tennessee because Minnesota hasn't shown me shit in the first 2
Tennessee
games.
has been barely doing anything for me, but they're going to win this one.
Yeah. What's his face is going to run all over that fucking Tennessee.
Derrick Henry's going to do something, man.
It's like he never left the field after last season. Like he has been cooking people.
But here's the thing: he's the only thing that's working for that offense right now. The offense still haven't really found it. So Tannehill is still kind of warming up, which is fine. But they really need to find a groove. They have to because I could see them losing a lot of games they should be winning.
Oh, I'm mad we forgot to mention this. Las Vegas was looking good against the Saints.
Yeah, I told you. Yeah, John Gruden made like the best team ever, and you guys are just not like getting to that.
We weren't getting the process. We gotta wait.
Oh yes, it's a process. Meaning like you have to wait for it. You're just not going to get it instantly. You know, like your fucking Pornhub or whatever you like.
But they gotta play the New England Patriots, and the Patriots are gonna.
Patriots gonna walk, or they're gonna wax their ass. Patriots better.
Campion's gonna come in. No, and they're playing Atlanta. Was it about to say Lambeau? Is it Lambeau?
No, they're playing Gillette. They play at Gillette,
and they're playing in Gillette. So I'm like, oh yeah,
No. See, you talking all this shit. He grew. Now all I had to do was say spider 2 wide. They got it.
Spits tobacco out of his mouth.
Spider 2 wide. Oh Jesus, that play doesn't work. Anyway,
So yeah, I'm going New England.
Yeah, I'm going to do it. I'm going to Pats.
This is going to be a shit show. Might be a tank bowl. San Fran and Giants.
Not yet. There ain't no tanking yet.
Okay,
come on. The tanking doesn't really officially start until the 6th game.
That's
where, because remember, the 6th game is where everybody gets confidence of what kind of team they are. And then some people are staring at 1 and 5 and be like, well, yeah, we're in the tanking yet. We ain't in the tanking mode yet. Right now, we're in the trying mode.
Also, again, shout out to Jared Atry. He has a new theme song. It's the Injury Bowl now.
Oh, yeah, the Injury Bowl. You know what? Look.
It's fucked up, but he's right, man. It's like no preseason has fucked a lot of teams up, man.
Here's the funny thing. We were going to get these anyway. Now let me be fair. We were going to get these injuries everywhere.
It'll just be preseason. It's like, all right, whatever.
I asked several people what they thought of it, and from the coach a coach told me that's not conditioning. That's the sport being the sport. You're playing a violent sport.
It can be ugly at times. It can be unruly at times.
Yeah, there's going to be some weeks. 3 people get hit, and then some weeks it looks like there was a war and a bomb. It looks like there was a bomb that went off, and you're reading off all the names of the people that died in it.
I feel bad for the San Francisco fans. I mean, I know we talk cash shit, but like, dog, it was like
Bosa. That's big.
I thought it was a WWE wrestler that came on that field because everybody had knee and leg injuries. I'm like, did somebody get hit with a steel chair in the knee? Jesus Christ, man. It's like knee, ACL, sprained ligaments. I'm like, Jesus Christ, man, what the fuck is going on here?
Groin, turf toe. Like, Jesus, what? How do you get turf toe?
This is gonna be rough for me to pick. I'm gonna say the Giants need a game winner after coming off last week.
No, San Fran would.
Oh, so you going San Fran?
Oh yeah, God. I think San Fran still have a better team.
All right, I'm going Giants on that one. The battle of two teams that need a victory badly: Cincinnati and the Eagles. Well, Cincinnati because our boy was like, I've never lost 2 games in a row. This is rough.
Joe Burrow, you got to understand. I tell this to everybody. The reason why I make fun of him is because I get it. You are one of those privileged quarterbacks who are used to winning. You are used to winning, and that's not a bad thing. That's not the feelings that you're feeling is not necessarily a bad thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that being said, you are on the fucking Bengals.
Maybe if this was the old
do you know why they told you to play as hard as they made you play in college so you could be the number 1 pick? The number 1 pick 9 times out of 10 will go to the worst team in the NFL. which was the Bengals. Son, you're not on a winning team. All the winning that was on this team left with Marvin Lewis. So you're on a sorry ass team that has not won a playoff game since D was 4 years old.
Actually, since Ocho Cinco and
No, they didn't win that one.
I thought they did when Ocho Cinco was playing with them. Oh, damn. Wow.
Chris, Marvin Lewis didn't win a playoff game.
Ooh, damn.
Chris, Marvin Lewis didn't win a playoff game.
I keep forgetting they got into the playoffs, but never won
Chris,
a game.
Marvin Lewis never won a playoff game. Chris, Marvin Lewis.
I keep forgetting. Dude, are you telling me that Jason Garrett has a better playoff record than Marvin Lewis? He does. He does.
No, I tell you what better. I tell you what better. Jeff Fisher's body and blood.
Labs in 7-9 got a better playoff record.
Continue on.
Shout out to Jeff Fisher. That is also the king of finesse right there, dog. Ooh, man, him and Sam Bradford are like high-fiving each other every day.
Mediocrity.
Yay!
They jump in the air for it, you know.
Freeze frame.
Jump all the way in the air. Executive producer Dick Wolf.
All right, so I said Cincinnati. Are you saying Philly or are you going Cincinnati?
Fuck it. Philly.
All right, that's fair.
I'm putting this on our actual list now. The list, I'm going to put up the result. I'm going to start putting up results next week.
I say, once you get the next week, put up the results of where we're sitting at in the state.
Yeah. But yeah, definitely. Anyway, go ahead.
Houston Pittsburgh might be a good game. I'm gonna lean towards Houston because our boy needs to get a win, man. I feel bad.
And I feel you on that. I absolutely.
It's so bad.
I absolutely feel you on that, and that's why D is picking the Steelers because the Steelers have did something phenomenal. They are making Captain Fat Folk look functional right now. He looks functional right now.
Healthy though, D. Let's be fair. He is healthy.
He's healthy now. He's not raping girls. Not no more. No, he's not.
Sir, puppy breaks on that. Not yet.
Not yet. Look. I'm not saying that Ben Roethlisberger is a serial rapist. I look, it's like this. I'm not saying that Ben's a serial rapist, but I do say he fucks bitches. So
it's their will.
I know they're against their will. Here's the. I'm sorry, they consent. Anyway,
Look at these rings, babe. You know you want this.
Well, let me tell you something. They got this fucking sub that's named after me, right?
The Roethlisberger.
Like Roethlisberger to me seems like a dude who is still using high school tactics to pick up girls. He just seems that way. But like I said, Steelers gonna beat them down, so I got the Steelers down.
This is gonna be fun. Jets at Indianapolis Colts. I got the Colts just fucking mopping the floor of the fucking Jets because, dear God, the Jets are also another team that's getting worked by fucking injuries.
Mm-hmm. I'm with you on that.
Yeah, Colts winning that one. Carolina and the Diamond Dogs.
Diamond Dogs should win it because Carolina looks like they got this. Like it's just Teddy Bridgewater and a bunch of dudes.
Yeah, I want to go Chargers on that one. Team with no stadium, unfortunately. Tampa Bay and Denver. I got Tampa Bay winning because I still don't believe Denver.
I don't either. Like I said, Denver's going to do a whole lot. So yeah, let's go with Tampa.
Detroit, Arizona. Arizona is going to probably mop Detroit up, possibly. Yeah. It is. I'm going to say the game of that afternoon, Dallas, Seattle. This is going to be interesting because I still feel some way about Dallas' defense.
I feel. Yeah, I'm saying. I don't like it.
I don't believe in it yet. Like I said, even though they came through against the Falcons, this is Russell Wilson we're talking about here. He will eat your defense alive.
Mhm.
And I don't want the defense to put Dak in a position to where he has to bail them out again on some gutsy plays.
But see, here's the thing. I feel like that's going to happen at least a couple times this year, and it's going to happen against teams that we should be able to beat. I guarantee.
That's why I fear the Browns game after the Seattle game. Because I'm just sitting there like the defense is going to either A, make Baker
Here's
Mayfield
the thing. I'm not scared to
B,
lose to the Browns though. I'm
I'm
not scared to
scared. I
lose
don't
to
want
them.
them to lose to the Browns. I really don't.
That's a vanity pick right there. Like, no. We must win. Um,
But yeah, obviously I'm gonna say Dallas, but
but yeah,
I'm gonna look
I,
very like they would literally have to replicate how they
they
beat.
would have to play a perfect game to me.
They would have to replicate what they did against Seattle in the playoffs last year. They have to replicate that because they actually
They have to be perfect.
their defense last year did a really good job against Russell Wilson in the playoffs last year. I will give them that.
You mean the year before, right?
Yeah, year before. My bad. I'm tripping.
But still, I feel like this is a different Russ. So yeah,
Dude,
man, I think we
like I said, when you threw that bomb, I'm sitting there like, and we're supposed to beat that again.
exactly,
It's like,
exactly, bro.
again, I feel Dak's going to step it up and stuff. I mean, I'm still laughing at the fact that, again, seeing Dak with the Cowboy hat, I'm just laughing my ass off a little bit because I'm like, you're feeling yourself, Dak. I understand you now.
I wear that too. I wear it too.
And to Dak's credit, I will give him this. He's looking a lot better.
Yeah, I told you he's playing a lot better. This is a different type of that, but it's gonna be hard to get this team to really, well, at least the way it's looking. They got to find balance. They got to find it as quick as
Yeah,
possible.
the defense got to find something. The offense, clearly, when they figure out stuff, they tend to bounce back. The defense has to be the one to really kind of like bounce back off that shit. So, it's going to be a good afternoon game. I think that's going to be the good afternoon game and stuff that's happening. But the Sunday night game, that's going to be a good one, low key. Green Bay versus New Orleans Saints.
I got New Orleans winning that one.
I got Green Bay eking out a win on that one, though.
I see either way. That's an either way.
That's going to be a good one. That could be a shootout, or the defenses, in a weird way, step up in that game somehow.
Mm-hmm.
So, but you said you had the Saints, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, and the Monday night game, that's going to be a fucking killer. Kansas City and Baltimore. This is a tough one for me to pick.
I think Baltimore is going to win this one. I don't know how big of a win it's going to be.
I got Baltimore because, and again, this is not. It's like I don't want to take anything from the Chargers game like it meant something, but I'm sure Baltimore is looking at their game like, what?
Oh yeah, we can beat them. We can beat them.
What did the Chargers do that we can replicate and still let Lamar Jackson do his thing on offense? And so it's going to be interesting. That could be a shootout, or the defense steps up on Baltimore and it just ends up being a blowout.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
But yeah, Baltimore is definitely going to win that one. I can see that, and I can eat that one out and stuff. So, but yeah, this is fun. Again, if Dallas ekes out against Seattle, this is coming back a little.
I swear to God, if you put that hat back on, I'm gonna laugh. Like wow. Anyway,
I had to do this because just to see the despondent look on the Falcon fans' face, dude. I literally sat back and watched fans. It was another sports podcast out of Atlanta. These black Atlanta Falcons fans sit there in disbelief that the Falcons did it. And one fan was just sitting there like, 5 players, just watch the ball, just 10 yards.
spin, doing the spin-a-rooney on the ground.
And my man got up and walked away from the camera for a couple of minutes, and the other 4 kept going. I was like, I feel you, man, because there was a couple of Dallas games where even I was just like, what the hell was that? What was that?
I feel like, Atlanta, you're going to be forever the ass joke. There's choking, and then there's Atlanta.
I had to agree with you. I had to agree with you, D. It's like, as much as I want to take credit that Dallas fought back, and you had to give them credit, it's like you said, this is Atlanta being Atlanta.
That's Atlanta being Atlanta. That's Atlanta being Atlanta. Just impressive. D,
and here's the sick part. they're gonna say hold my beer again. I don't know how. They're gonna do it again. I don't know how.
I don't think it was gonna be this season. I think they got
Oh
their
no!
one
Oh
embarrassment.
no! You write my words. They're gonna do it again this season.
They're gonna do it. They got a chance to make the
I don't know
playoffs, ruin it.
how. It's gonna be the most Atlanta Falcons shit ever, and I'm just gonna sit there and laugh like you guys just
They're
got
just
bad
gonna
luck.
ruin it. I feel you. I feel you on that, man.
But anyways, this is a fun sports show. I appreciate everybody
Mhm.
that chimed in and laughed at me in this. I'm pretty sure somebody's gonna screenshot this. I don't fucking care. This is awesome. This is great.
I
So
mean, I'm just impressed that you did it.
I
That's all.
committed to this. I had to commit to this. I had to. This was great.
Look, D, it's like this. Look, D, I had to. Nobody else was gonna do it. I had to.
I mean, look, I don't have a full Dallas Cowboy uniform like Chadwick, like Chadwick, posted up on Facebook and shit. I'm like, I'm not gonna go that far. There's limits to my fandom that I will go. This is the closest you'll get. Is this? I'm not gonna go full Cowboys gear. Like, look at me, man. Like I played. No.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, man.
but anyways, thanks for watching, guys, and we'll catch you again next week. Peace out.